Welcome to Starfinder, the Fragments of Eternity session 77. Is that what we're on? I think it's 78. 78. That's the one. It is the 30th of November 2020. That's right, there's no November left. Sorry, we're all out. I am Ryan, the GM, and here are the players. Yep, no, he's muted.
No, that wasn't a mute this time, that was my mic cutting off, and hello, I'm Nico. Playing Zora, the best captain.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I will be playing Weird, Android Mechanic / Rhubarb Lover.
Call that the aristocrats. Anyway, hello, I am Colin, and I will be playing Michael Quint, your resident sneaky, spooky space cop, coast to coast stuff, things. Go on.
Excellent.
Hi there, I'm
Hi.
Callum, and I'll be playing Commodore Chief Mystic Officer the Burning, also known as Zig, the mystical space rat, who spent time at the sun and is now spending time with his friends.
How were your friends, though?
Okay.
I never said who he was spending time with. Merely his friends.
What's his
Maybe
face? Oh my
his
God,
friends
famous.
or the friends we made along the way.
Along the friends. Yes.
And when their love happens,
Hmm?
it is as natural as the sea and as powerful.
Fair.
Everyone should go watch the Blue Lagoon. There we go.
No.
I may at some point just to see what the fuck they're on about.
It's bad, though.
You know what else is bad? Friends.
Yes,
Yeah, I'll take a stand on that too,
I
yeah.
agree. I
that is
agree.
Yeah.
badly.
We
Chandler
actually in a group
was
full of people
good.
that hate
Yeah.
friends. I'm
Chandler
so
was
happy.
good, but everyone else in that show was awful, and most.
Is it
people
because he
played
was the most
terrible.
normal because he just went to work and came back from work and
No,
also
it's
had
because he
strange
was the most-
friends?
Sympathetic because he was fucked up a bit in a way that was like kind of pathetic and sad, and not like a oh look how crazy I am and all my friends enable my obvious mental illness, or I'm a just absolute cunt with a womanizing problem.
Ah,
and
Ross.
Why?
I was about to say,
Yeah,
I'm
there's
sure I
Ross.
could just stay with it, Ross.
Someone
Like,
tweeted years ago that Ross, there couldn't be a friends reunion because at this point Ross has almost certainly killed Rachel and his baby and is in prison or has killed himself. And that is definitely true.
Oh, fuck,
Ross
I'd
has
watch that
Family
reunion.
Annihilator written all over his face.
I would watch that reunion show though,
Oh.
like Criminal Minds Friends crossover.
I mean,
I would
fair.
watch the Criminal Minds Friends crossover for one key reason, and that key reason is
Yeah,
Matthew Krieger.
yeah.
I knew that
Mhm.
you knew I was going to
Yeah,
say that, and you
yeah.
said it anyway.
Yep, and here we are knowing that we knew. So,
Hmm.
what do you
Who
remember
knew?
though from last time we played?
What did we do last? We went and spoke to the crew.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Slightly arrested. There was a wee bit of interrogations.
Mildly arrested. yeah.
Query, the basket cake.
We may have broken Query. He was already well on the route to breakage. He was well worn.
Maybe he needs to be broke down to be built back up, right?
Pre-owned.
Mm-hmm.
We found him at the back of a CEX somewhere. And yeah, he's not doing great.
Yeah, he's a wee bit.
Was he ever doing great though? Like,
No, but he wasn't doing great in the sense that the things he did weren't particularly good. But now he's not doing great in the sense that like clearly he's a mess. So, and he was obviously the one responsible for the incident. CC may have not helped things by providing him with some sort of shit blunderbuss.
yeah, the bazooka bus. Yeah.
There was an injury.
Yeah.
There may have been several injuries. We haven't seen the stewards as a result. It was a whole thing that was rather unfortunate. And it was a misunderstanding because he's an alternate universe character and he's an idiot, so he didn't know what was going on.
Like, we all know that nobody's did right because he's shite and he probably failed his attack roll because it's Starfinder.
Well, that's not true.
Like-
A lot of people are dead. For instance, people in Eos.
Oh dear.
We had to deal with Isabel's growing displeasure at various things. We
Mostly
made
her
the
being
mistake-
shot.
When I'm saying
Did we
mistake,
actually deal with it?
well, we didn't deal with it, but we had to put up with it for a bit.
Yeah.
Antagonised it, I think is what Alex is trying to say.
I would never antagonize anyone. How dare you?
No.
I
Did tell her the truth of the situation.
yeah, we kind of we did the exposition a bit, and then everyone was confused about the alternate universe stuff. And
Just fair.
then he being Babak was telling us about MRO being en route to claim Query because apparently they have probably forged, but let's be honest, who knows, but probably forged documents indicating that they have some sort of claim to Query. So the PP Poo Poo Corporation are en route, or at least their leader is.
Is that the Aspis?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Aspis, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Are en route to fuck us up and take back what's theirs, presumably, or something to that effect, or probably just walk in, have a lawyerly exchange, and then leave peaceably. But anyway, I don't like them. And in the midst of this, what happens is that a ship, presumably a corpse fleet ship, 'cause it certainly looks Eoxian, doesn't seem friendly, materializes close by, and everything's in high alert, and
Mm.
the aristocrats.
Yeah. Fair. Anyone else remember anything that Michael may have missed or didn't miss?
We got to update everyone on my impending apotheosis.
Yeah. Yep. That was good.
When he says it like that, it's very non-worrying.
Yeah, like super cash apotheosis. Right?
Yes. I will
Right.
become a god.
I have been chosen.
Who's your Palpatine in this situation? Because it's very strong signs of Anakin. Like, yeah,
Do you have a son that can maybe usurp you one day?
not yet. But,
I
I mean,
think that's just Zig, isn't it?
Oh no, but Zig's
Oh no,
the
Zig's not
Emperor.
Palpatine.
yeah.
So, Alice, my
uh-huh.
Is
Is
Zeg?
Tim Curry? No.
No, is
a
Zeg?
sandwich.
No, but is he not more like what was the lead Ewok?
The lead.
Wicked W. Warwick.
The lead Ewok.
Wait,
The one that got the
Wicked
most
Got
screen
away.
time.
Wicked
Luke-
W. Warwick.
Ewok one.
Yeah,
was-
Wicket. It was it. It was Wicket, yeah.
Wicked W.
So is Zeg a colourful alcohol for children?
I'm
No.
just here to sell toys, guys.
Sig
That's
is Palpatine.
Sell
second.
toys and possibly alcopops to children?
Yeah.
Oh,
And drugs
okay.
on the back of the ship.
Do you think the Ewoks got pissed at 14?
I don't think any of
Ethan,
them
they
were
didn't have
14.
14.
Yeah, I was going to say none of them were 14, I do. This is when we get
I expected you a hamster.
It'd be great if we got an influx of angry Star Wars fans right now just to complain about how we don't know the lifespan of Ewoks, just
It would be
instinctively.
great for the numbers. If you're
No.
listening and you're a Star Wars fan and you're angry about this, please tell.
Other people to
as
come
many
and be
people as
angry
possible.
too. Let's
I
make-
can say all sorts of stupid things about Star Wars.
Yeah, let's make Twitch partner on the anger of Star Wars fans. I'm okay with that.
okay.
What else do
Nobody
they
actually
have?
knows how old Ewoks live to, seeing as none of them have ever died a natural death.
Yeah.
They just die in their
Well-
contraptions.
Or they're like clearly ethereal beings, right? Like or something. Like
No, because they are scared of the witch that lives on Endor.
Which is fair.
Do Ewoks eat humans? Yes, they do.
I mean, well, they try to eat C-3PO, so I don't know how good their like chefs are.
They'll just try and eat.
They thought C-3PO was
I got
German
equally valid.
because of Fritz Lang.
yes. See, I don't think that's true. I'm just going to
It's
take a
not.
stance there. It's a lie. Anyway, so goals. So let's review what we've got in place for this week, shall we? Okay, fine. So, we have configure the correct rankings for the crew. We're all surprised by Zora's goal, but don't worry about it. Lyco Quint
Most
has
of it.
Lyco Quint has retrieved Syndial's electroencephalon.
Good goal to have, I think.
Weird has established cybernetics business. Limbs are us, the body whole, bone, brain, and beyond. Limbo. And then we've got Zig has go get bloods checked in Hive Market. That's our personal goals this week. We also have the general goals of speak with Ramasethu, prepare and embark for Eox, immediately keep query out of Aspas's hands, and speak with the Kivalari crew, and repair the fleet / Kivalari. So, let us jump back into the wonderful world that is this absolutely fucked up universe, Starfinder.
Fragments of eternity.
The fragments. Thank you. So,
No.
the rural juror.
He's just narrated by Sylvester Stallone now.
Apparently so.
Wingardium Levi. Oh wait, okay.
So there was the ship that appeared.
Oh crud, yes.
Yes.
There was the cannon.
And yeah, apparently they do. Yeah. Lyco never quite made it on the ship. Apparently, he's floating off into the red space. So there we are. But yeah. Meanwhile, when Colin's attention's in our game.
I am paying attention.
Good man.
Oh, I'm always paying.
I am always.
This ship brought to us by Bad Dragon.
I don't think so, and I don't think MD should Google that. All you youngins that are listening to this illegally,
Children at home,
don't.
with your blue wicked.
Your
please
Ewok
do.
inspired Blue Wicked or whatever.
Yeah, do Google Bad Dragon. You have my personal invitation.
And
to
that should
Google
warn
shit.
you.
And his personal discount code. Twitch partnerships.
Fucking hell. Well,
It's gonna be great when we get TOS and you have a breakdown.
yeah, it's just I'll just go cry for a bit internally. Just it's been a couple hours, so I may as well top up the old tank.
Tank of teal.
Yep. Welcome to the despair pit. Oh dear.
Anyway.
Yes. Anyway, Colin. Anyway, Alex. So, I think we
feel like they've been attacked.
we have the alarms going off in the calm before the storm, the ship that Babak is on, and you guys are all. And obviously, yeah, there seemed to be a lot of activity going around. You'd have basically been given orders as Babak leaves the room, right? Given that he is off to go to the bridge to do some, commanding. What do you do? You've still got Officer Sanchez, not Ensign, Officer Sanchez.
What specifically did you order us to do?
Do you not remember the non-order he gave you?
We need.
Oh,
need
yeah, sorry, yeah.
query in
So
order
I
to
hinted
get
it might be
hands on
good if
Aspis.
you didn't, yeah.
Yeah, he told us to kill MMO.
I help that.
It's interesting how different people interpret the same words.
Mhm. He gave you a look
Okay.
and said, "We can't let query fall into their hands," as he gave you a look. And that was it. Because they stated that MO had a diplomatic status that outranked him. Which means she could just take jurisdiction of query if she demanded.
That seems like a flawed system.
It's a really, really flawed system. Really, really flawed.
Okay. Mentally, Lyco will say to the group, we need to find CC. And then Sanchez will say, you know where the guests are? The other guests?
And then he goes, "Guests?"
Those who were the individuals who are no longer.
Oh, the ex-prisoners. Yes.
Yeah, that I was trying to be gentle about it. Yeah.
One was returned to their ship, and the other one was placed in your quarters.
Was the other one the Skittermander
Which
by
one?
any chance?
The little angry blue thing is in your quarters, and the taller, angrier lady went back to her ship.
So I would snigger. Angrier than CC.
Yeah, on a scale of Thanaida to Cece, where is your anger? And the answer is yes.
All right.
He says,
Oh,
is that where we're heading to?
so
Well, it's where Lyco would head, certainly. But what's everyone else
what
think?
of Isabel?
Isabel's already left that room. Remember, she left before the
Yeah.
alarms went off.
Oh right, cool.
See,
Remember
when
she
you
was in
mentioned,
there-
like when you were talking about fucking other universes and meeting gods and all that stuff, she's like, okay, I have to go make a phone call, and then she left the room.
Okay.
She's got her own shit going on. We'll leave her.
Remember,
to-
she's in her sexy, or I have my own arc black outfit now as well.
Mhm.
Wow.
One that Zig might
Um,
remember from certain timelines.
Future. Future past.
Mhm.
I love how
Well-
Callum's just. You've stayed in this timeline for the
Internally,
longest, right? This has been the most you've been in one timeline, so.
This is the longest timeline, yes.
So, what's the plan, guys? Where do you go to? Sanchez is just standing there saying, is that where we're off to, boss?
So what of query?
Well, he's still being held for questioning, right? He's seeing a counsellor. That's what the last thing Babak said to you. So,
Oh, yes, that's right.
yeah, he's the only one that's really responsible anyway. And obviously you told Babak that CC was responsible too, so that might change depending on what happens after the alarms stop.
It's alright, CC's got it Arnold. He'll spout him some law nonsense and then he'll be like, yes, of course.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was.
CC, the party's
Okay.
lawyer. Yep. Yeah, so what's the plan, guys?
So in head speak, so how do we get Query back in this situation like it? Surely you know
also
some
mentally,
loopholes, right?
I would say, I think we need CC's help.
I could take him back.
Questioning, mind,
Huh?
internally.
If I get somewhere that I can put my armor, I can walk through the ship, pick him up.
It's a good idea, but I think we need CC's help to ensure that you're not caught doing that. He's already showing he can. Well, I have to assume he was responsible for the camera outage in his room, but they didn't seem to know for sure. So speaking aloud, just to make sure it's not too weird that we're standing around looking,
Just looking
like,
intensely, shrugging
Uh,
occasionally.
yeah, let's Sanchez, let's head back to the room. We'll check up on how our friend is doing.
Sanchez goes right this way, and then he marches off down the ship corridors, and you've got like lots of people doing the standard we're extras paid to run really fast and look busy throughout all the corridors. So you have that on the go. And yeah, you head back to the ambassadorial suite. And Crooks. Yeah, he's
I
get there.
assume we find.
Yeah, he's go in. He's all pile in. Sanchez takes his post outside, and yeah, there's an empty room. Door to the bedroom's closed.
It's got to be wrecked. Oh no, he's totally messing about with Ivan.
Oh, it's probably
probably.
just Ivan. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
CC.
And then there's just there's nothing. There's no noise in the room, obviously.
I'll give it if I won't chap on the door because I mean I'll just go into the room.
Yeah. You open the door, and you see in there that everything that could have been eaten has been fed to Ivan. Everything.
Good.
And,
Good.
Cece is standing in there with like mecha legs that he's wearing.
Good. Ivan's handiwork.
And then Cece looks up and he goes, "How dare you? This is my skill."
Via parts from Ivan.
No. Looks at Ivan shiftily. Looks at you again.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can speak. No, of course you can.
Yeah, for like
I
a
was like-
for
I
like a
just
handful of
realised he
hours.
just replied to me.
Yeah.
For how much longer?
It's 24 hours since the first casting, so that's been
Right,
like
so
a
you're
handful of hours. Yeah, he's probably got a good like a full day basically of talking still.
Oh, it's gonna be so
It's horrible.
strange.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to ask you to do something even worse.
Okay.
Because internally, through the powers of this mental linkage, Lyko will say, Zig, this mental communication thing,
Mm-hmm.
can you loop in another individual?
Yeah, we'd all have to go through the bond again, but we can add people if that's what you need.
Would it be easier to create a link between two people directly? Could you do that?
It would
Let
replace
me
the link you
look at my
have though.
character sheet.
Yeah, right. So it would replace it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can only have one active at a time.
And you
Okay.
can't have like multiple and then select which one's active either, unfortunately.
No. Once that one,
So-
once I cast another one, the other one.
Just go get another
So
Zig.
everyone.
We've got two names. God damn it. Never mind.
Yep.
Just leave it. It's gone.
Let's flush that one. Yep.
Weird. Oh my
Mhm.
god, man. Like, names. Brain does the work I do.
No, it's okay. Don't
Um,
worry.
Mine doesn't work any days. Okay.
So
How about we loop in CC? At least for the now, it'll make things easier.
Zig just looks at everybody at the same time. No, obviously just looks around at everyone, waiting for everyone else's input on
Mhm.
the suggestion.
I shrug externally with my physical body.
Oh, it's already disconcerting enough having you guys in my head, never mind the screaming of a skittlemander in my head. Like,
is this internal speech or
Okay.
external
yeah,
speech?
internal.
Yeah.
Internal.
I was ready.
Fair point. But I'm going to ask him to do something extremely illegal, and I would rather not do that verbally in a ship where we're being monitored.
You could write
Ah.
it down.
That's. If,
That's
CC.
easy to trace.
Not everything deleted.
Feed it to Ivan.
Cameras. Still looking around the room. Can I roll some dice, Ryan, this early in a session on a Monday? What?
Heathen. That's what you be.
I know. I don't understand what's happening.
What is
to
the
me,
roll
but
for? What are you trying to
I
get?
want to perceive the shit out of this room to see if I can spot any cameras.
I think you'd know enough about stewardships to know that you wouldn't be able to see the cameras, but they are there,
Okay.
right? Like they're definitely like very well hidden.
So there's no way I could get a sense of where I can avoid them or minimize the.
You
cover.
could definitely roll to see if you could find a blind spot. Yeah, and that's
Not
definitely
even
you could do.
necessarily a blind spot, but like if I have my back to this camera, is another camera picking up my front?
I mean, I
more
feel
than
like this
that,
you're
so
creating a blind spot, so it's the same end result, really, right?
That's an alright roll.
It's a shame it wouldn't be perception though, right?
Wouldn't be
'Cause-
perception.
No, because you would know where they are. You just need to like
Oh,
do some kind of investigate, right? To formulate some kind of stratagem, maybe even a space cop roll. Like,
space cop roll. I
Yeah.
can space cop roll.
Spotting.
there you go.
The
Oh,
same roll.
it's the same number. There we go.
The universe is conspired for this 31 to happen, right?
Yeah, it needed to
The
happen.
number of a beast.
It is a
Yes.
beast.
Oh my god, Ryan, what age am I? Oh my god!
It's all cut. Does it mean you get 31 of these results? Is that how it works? Because that'd be handy for an RP.
Maybe.
So,
Depends on the game.
and also the damage rolls. If you had to roll your own damage, that would suck if it was against you. So, anyway, yeah, like you can obviously find a spot in this now fairly Spartan room, since everything's been fed to, Ivan. You can also just get maybe you position the crew in a certain way as well to help block angles.
Okay, sort of mentally saying, let's try and move around in a way that it looks natural, but I want to get myself angled so that can't see when I'm riding.
Yeah, and you're reasonably
just-
confident, yeah.
And as soon as you say walk around like it's natural, Zig's walking like a robot.
just not going to acknowledge that.
It's like act natural and you get like a really overexerted slouch and stuff like that.
Zombie shuffling.
Mhm.
And I'll scribble. Presumably they're stationary around here, right?
Not in this room, there isn't, no, because everything's been
shit.
fed to.
Ivan's.
But there will be
Oh,
like
God.
at the office part where the comm is, so you can run and grab all that nonsense and be back there. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I've taken a couple of little bits of station. You just write a very quick note to the effect of.
I've got a spawn.
I know.
Just for
No.
just for reference.
They will track that. They will track that.
Only if you hit send. You just hold
Yeah,
it.
you just
so-
type in the words, show 'em,
No.
tweet.
The rest, someone else could hit send. It could fall.
CC goes, you just push send. Boop.
Exactly. This is Lyco think. You
Mhm,
can't
mhm.
risk hitting send.
Mhm.
Oh, or like that they're screen capturing somehow. So Lyco will scribble on a piece of paper. Okay, I'll go over it with these guys because here's what I was thinking asking them to do. Create a semi-randomized pattern of security fuck-ups that would mean that there was a route, or potentially more than one route, for someone, preferably weird, because that would mean that we would be able to avoid corridors more without having to blanket corridor. Like if there were a line of corridors between us and Query that just went blank,
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be easy to guess what was happening. But if there
If-
were sort of
If an entire
semi-random
floor
selection of-
went black as well, like that might be a bit iffy.
Yeah.
So yeah, random's good. Mhm.
So yeah, like
Like
the sort
Weird
of
can walk through walls and stuff, but is he the stealthiest of characters?
just this
True.
like large, four-armed android in glorious
I mean,
yellow
he might
armor.
surprise me, right? But like,
It's the cape that's
But
memorable.
if-
That's the problem.
CC could get as a rough plan, we could figure out what the route he could take that would be the least likely to get him caught, right?
Okay.
Like physically, and then have CC program in a route that will cover that and a smattering of other things randomly or pseudo randomly to make it look like this wasn't necessarily like the route that was out. So that's what I'm kind of thinking to ask him is, can you create a route and hide it amongst the chaos that Weird could take through walls to get to?
And you write all this down and then hand it to CC.
Well, yeah, I'm sort of waiting to see if anyone else would disagree with that. I mean, obviously, Alex, you may feel that there is a better way to utilize your go through
Also,
floors.
Can
and
you
walls.
actually get other people out though if you're going in through walls?
I can throw him in my null space chamber,
Valid, yeah. Mm-hmm.
which will give us
Yeah.
at least 10 minutes.
Your
I can't remember what
cube of
exact
holding.
was now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was even thinking just like unlock it, and the security of outage would help take care of the rest.
I mean,
But yeah,
In
that's an
fairness,
option as well.
you could try and rat in a maze query, right? By just having the only doors open be the ones he needs to like have the lights on and off, so he goes to the lighter parts of the corridors and try and scare him down a route if you wanted as well.
Actually, the null space is a good idea because he is an android, so it's less dangerous for him, right? Or is that not mechanically a thing?
I think androids
Yeah,
still
we
need to
don't use
breathe.
I
Right?
don't think we do.
Really?
No, they
Oh,
don't.
I actually
They
just
don't.
forget like the ins and outs because we've got Barai and Android, and it's always a.
Because remember, a Barai android doesn't get that.
Mm.
At least rules is written because the rules are written by idiots.
that makes no fucking sense, man.
Oh, you don't have lungs and you're dead. Of course you breathe.
Wait, how can you be a dead android? Never mind.
Yeah, do not
Never
need to
mind.
breathe. Yeah,
That's
perfect.
philosophical.
Exactly, and that's what we're here for. So let's talk. No, should we then? Right, if we put him in the null space chamber, and weird would then need a second route, I think, because we don't want him coming straight back to.
Just drop out the bottom of the ship.
I was gonna say, yeah, he could literally just fall out of the ship and then just get picked up by the shuttle if he's left.
Because he's an android, he could actually survive the vacuum of space for
And,
it.
And his
I've
suit,
got
yeah.
my suit.
Yeah, his suit will last him regardless.
How long? Yeah, and there's when you.
What level is your suit again? Your suit's big, right?
12 or 13.
So that's
yeah,
like
that
12.
lasts half
Is
a
it?
day- half a day.
Isn't it days, not hours, per
Is it?
level? I'm sure it's something glorious like that. I'm sure it's a
I
day
think it
worth
is.
the
I think
level.
it's insane.
Yeah,
We need to get that ship below him for that, though.
I mean, it's good time. You could slowly navigate around it. It just depends if you want to be outside, given what's outside.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm small enough that no one's going to notice me.
Ooh.
The thing about space is it's really, really big.
True.
Does this
Can
give
you
us
move in
shields?
space, or is that just a Zig thing?
I've got a flight on my suit.
It says flight. It doesn't say it needs to operate in gravity, right?
Yeah, it doesn't say whether.
I mean,
vacuum
surely it
is or not.
should work better out of gravity.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you get to the Azure Flare or the final hour, maybe, or?
We could just pick him up. The
Yeah,
shuttle. We could leave and.
I was gonna say the shuttle's in the shuttle bay, annoyingly, and the other two ships are probably too far away for him to like.
Yeah, it'd be faster if you could.
He could start his journey there, right, and then just use scoop him up.
Yeah.
And we don't need to
We
worry
still
about.
need to communicate with someone on other ships, though,
Yeah, but you still do
which
have
would be
comms.
easy. Then we need to communicate that
And the whole
that
breathing in space thing, by the way, don't forget we've got like 12 days worth of air
Problem.
in our ships at this point. Like,
problem is that if we communicate with our ships, telling them we're letting someone come out the bottom of the camp before the storm, go and collect them, that would then immediately.
No,
go
the
to
plan would
stewards
be
before we send
use. So here's what I'm thinking you could do, right? If I had to weigh on all the stuff that's in play, you'll need your suits back, which means you need to get to. What do you call it? Like you've got your armor and stuff, so you need to go back to the room, get changed, right? So you need to do that before you leave this room again, which is where you are, because you are wearing like fucking casuals at the moment.
casuals.
And then once you've suited up, that obviously looks slightly shifty, but also alarms going off, not that bad. You can then have CC do his thing, have Weird do his thing, and then get them just to even just head to the shuttle, and then you guys meet them there, because you just want your stuff off the Kivalari, right?
I agreed.
And your shuttle's at the other side of the Kivalari, so just get permission to leave. That's the only thing, right? Because use just leaving's a wee bit weird without demarcation or what demarcation, whatever it's called. Permission. So
I know this is a silly idea, maybe.
Never.
Could we go from the outside in?
We need to come back up through the floor and enter somewhere.
Could we leave and then have Weird go in from the outside?
Arguably,
that
yeah.
way, just as
Like-
we've left. And then
It's not the worst idea.
the problem would be if the shields of the ship stopped that. And that's
Yeah.
going to be the problem regardless. So that's why I'm suggesting keeping
I would
everything
think
internal.
of that as well, shields.
That's why I'm suggesting, like, if it was me weighing in on that, it makes the most sense that you would send Weird to the
Getting
cell,
to the
moving down to the shuttle, and then just.
getting to the shuttle does seem to make sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a chance that the Kivalari might be less empty if alarms are going off, right? Obviously, that had like a crew going over it, but maybe that's not so important when alarms are going off because of a corpse fleet ship in the front of it,
So,
arguably.
what kind of time frame is this going to take then? What the size of the ship? Obviously, I mean, it
Ship's
might
big.
take longer.
And to be cautious
know.
about it as well, like you'll need to give CC time to like gain control of what he needs to do and then formulate his bullshit plan. But knowing CC, who knows, that could be anywhere between it's already been done and it might never happen because he's distracted. So you're working with that
Plus,
time frame.
there's how long can. Obviously, I suppose if you can get to a quiet place, a sort of hidden enough space, like a security cupboard or something, yeah, we can get thingy bobber in and out
Mhm.
repeatedly, so that he's not just spending an hour in an null space.
Mhm. So let me put this in some Roll20 terms then, right? Let's see what we're up against, right? So we've got CC roll for a access and random, right? And I think that might actually be 2 rolls: access then random, right? A prog. We've got that first to get that nonsense done. We'll then have weird stealth roll, and navigation shouldn't be a problem because you'll have a guide that will probably just be saying go this way, like the old Google Glass thing, you know, where you could hold your phone up and you could just actually see how far away things were. That was cool when we had that, and it got pulled. So we'll have a weird stealth roll. Then we'll have a. You're gonna do the null space chamber, then just leave, right? Is that your plan? Weird.
Yep.
Not gonna hack your way out, so it's just gonna be in the box now. That's a thing. Okay. So again, we'll just have another stealth roll at that point. Stealth 2 is equal. And then, where are you going on your way out? What do you prefer? What's Weird's plan?
I mean, my preferred way is just to drop through the floor,
Okay.
basically,
To where?
down into space.
Cool. What if it doesn't
Pick up.
work?
If you hit a ship shield and
Mhm.
get split in two, I mean, I'm going to assume that there's shields up right with a fucking Eoxian ship outside, fortunately. Assuming that this is like Star Trek and shields get brought down, because why would you ever bring your shields down?
I mean, this
Shitty
is a world that
technology.
has tech and magic, so you can imagine there's a lot of shielding that's required to stop people just teleporting half your crew into space.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Or summoning Tarrasques in the middle of your ship. So,
Or simply phasing through your walls.
so,
Unfortunately.
so what is the plan? Is just to go out of the ship
I should
initially.
just make the hangar bay then.
Wormholes, boys. Nah, I'm just joking. I can't do it.
No.
I'm in danger. Shitty Solarians.
It's like, Zig, take this gun. Shoot me in the leg repeatedly while I do this.
Quickly shoot me in the leg.
Such
I know
a
you're going to
bullshit
missile
method.
lads.
I don't know, like Zig, you're probably quite good at shooting.
Mate, it's fucking Starfinder. Everybody
Mm.
misses. It doesn't matter if he's good at shooting.
We'll just hit you with a force disc though, not just bounce around the room a few times and you'd have to dive into it. Yeah. Right, okay, so after that you're going to head to either out of ship or a shuttle in hangar. Oh, shuttle will do. Yeah. So we've got that to solve. And what about the others? What's your plans when this is happening?
I mean,
Act natural.
Just casually walk down like it's a 70s
Casually
drug-induced sitcom. Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
it's a fine question. I
Mhm.
mean,
I thought so. It's probably important. So you've got CC being hidden somewhere to do some sneaky computers work. You've then got Weird's going to stealth his way to the query cell. We've got Weird then stealths away from the query cell and either goes out of the ship or the ship hangar. And then what's everybody else doing in the meantime? Because you aren't allowed to leave yet. You wouldn't be able to get through the hangar shield.
it's true. It's true.
And even if you did just get out of the hangar shield, you can imagine that you could easily just be shot down.
In a potential battle zone, but that's meta, right?
No, really. The idea of yous escaping without permission might be seen as somewhat risky in both fronts, right? Both.
Weren't we told we're not prisoners?
Yeah, but that means that you can just shoot the hangar shield off and then leave.
I mean, we're not going to shoot a hangar shield off, yeah.
And how are you going to get it off then without asking? Right?
True.
Right?
I mean, I guess
Basically,
Just you could hack it, I guess, as well. Just power cut that. Watch people vent into space.
turn their shields off. This is fine.
Yes. Introducing CC to their system is 100% not a terrible idea. You're right. I agree. So yeah, talk me through the rest of
Gonna
it.
be
What
in
else
this
is
ship.
right? So what is the B team doing? If the A team is weird,
Team. It's a good question.
I thought so. Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Right.
I
Well, welcome back. But we're working at what the B team are doing. So if the A team, just to catch Colin up, is CC getting access to the system and randomizing it, weird stealthing to this place, stealthing away from the place, and ending up either out the ship or in the shuttle. What's the B team up to? Which is everybody else?
well, partly creating a distraction, I would say.
For what reason? What are you distracting? Away from CC?
Yeah, to minimise the risk of them getting caught, let's try and attract attention elsewhere. I'm not sure how we can do that.
I was going to say, yeah.
Hope the battle
From a
somehow starts and we can lure them to somewhere.
From a sci-fi point of view, if there was like an electronic problem, the electronic counter problem solvers will get onto that, right? Which means if you just start banging on walls, it's another part of the ship. That would be somebody else's job, right? Not the counter electronic warfare people.
Yeah,
Which
sure.
you would maybe need to be doing if you wanted to cause a distraction. You'd need to be causing like other tech problems elsewhere in the ship to pull their attention.
So more important tech problems than the tech problems we're actually trying to.
Right? Just if you wanted to try and
Yeah,
distract that.
Shields off.
No, stop trying to turn the goddamn ship shields off.
What is this
suppose
O2 you speak of?
I would do personally would be to communicate with our other ships
Hmm.
and advise them.
So any way to launch a
We
couple of
may have to make
skateboards.
a hasty. Well, right. I want to advise our other ships that we might need to make a hasty exit because clearly that's true, and also because that kind of brings a bit of attention onto us because we haven't been given permission to leave.
As I said, getting permission is unlikely to be a problem, right? Because as you know, you
Yeah.
are not under
That's
arrest. But
Uh-huh.
you's obviously like you'd need to speak to Babak officially for that, right? Like that would be something you would want to confirm, yea or nay, for the leaving of the ship. Obviously Babak hinted at dealing with Query, so if you're vague about that, that's maybe going to be better, right? Not that he's going to say that he's okay with you stealing one of his prisoners, but in the heat of the moment, if something goes missing, you know, just does mean that if yous fly away when that ship's in, if that ship happened to be here for any particular reason that's, you know, not there when yous leave, maybe yous will become people of interest. So that's interesting.
Could we perhaps like, fake an escape pod launch? You know,
Launch all the escape pods. So they
not
can't-
all of them. Okay, just one.
Leave
then
them
turn the
one
shields off.
escape
No,
pod.
not just one. One looks fake. A few.
No, leave
Yeah, a
them
few.
one.
Yeah,
Launch
yeah,
the
yeah,
other.
cool, a few.
Launch a few, and that gives the impression that someone is trying to, avoid being detected.
What if that makes the other ship open fire?
That's a good point. That is maybe a risk not worth taking.
I just think this is something you would think of. Maybe not all of you, but like I feel like Zora and Lyko have a good reason to think that.
Blow up the ship.
It was on the holo
Just
display.
got alarms. Oh, did we get the whole
You got
display?
that.
Right,
That's
right.
why I
thought
showed
we
you
just-
I know, I covered that. I covered your meta.
Yeah.
Sound.
We paid the meta
Okay,
price.
right, cool.
The price has been paid.
Yeah, Babak didn't give a fuck at that point. Who knew what? He was just like, "What's all these alarms? Bring up display. This ship is in front of us. Okay. And then he very clearly
I think-
proficiently stared at
So to give
Lyko.
an example of something that I could do sort of in the meantime, I think Lyko would just go outside and immediately almost bark at Sanchez.
I mean, if you
Hey, Sanchez! Sorry, continue.
sorry, just putting it there, like, would I think the escape pods are a bad idea? Surely, ships would be able to detect it's just escape pods getting launched, and if you're fucking the cops or EOCs, it's quite understandable that people are running for their lives and you're very, visage, right?
And let's face it, they never shoot at them if there's no life forms detected. That's just law.
I mean, that's exactly how the corpse fleet work. Yeah.
We'd probably have to make some life forms detected. Don't know how we would do that. Some
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah, or something.
Why do you think this ship is here? What's the party's vibe? Why do you think this ship is here?
This ship? Try and I don't know. I've got no idea. Assassinate the commander of the stewards or some shit. I don't know.
It could be to, yeah, I mean, it could literally be just
Who
that.
is their secret weapon that was stolen and is now to come to claim it back by using the goo against us?
Could also, that is genuinely a possibility. I wouldn't rule that out.
Ivan is a mystery.
I would think that there might be a possibility that they're sort of, they are corp fleet, they are independent theoretically, but are aligned with Tectolanus and are basically here to keep the heat off him.
Right.
Because while they are dealing with a, oh my god, the corpse fleet has rocked up, they are not observing Tectolanus.
It's just, it's not necessarily a corpse fleet.
No, could just be one of his ships.
But no, like that's an York ship. Period. It's not specifically a corpse fleet ship.
No,
That's
but
what York ships look like. Just in
Yeah.
case, like, just
yeah,
in case.
but
Like,
it's probably going to be.
but Zora doesn't know this.
You're never gonna go over that, are you? Like,
no, I'm not.
So
Fuck that rule.
I liked her explanation for that is that you never had windows in your drop pods, so.
Yeah.
So fucking dumb.
I would go out into the hallway and sort of like Sanchez.
And he looks at you. And he's like, Quint. He looks you up and down in your, what do you call it, like your space tracksuit.
Yeah. Can you? No, he's busy, but can you confirm with Babak if we have permission to leave? Those of us who aren't currently under arrest, that is, of course.
Kind of give you a weird look. And he goes, sure. Anything else?
Yeah. What's the current situation? Obviously, that ship is. Does this look like a fight?
It's like, my job's to attend to your needs, Lyko. I'm not in the loop on the bridge at the moment, but I can inquire if you wish while I'm requesting buyback.
No, don't. I'm guessing we'll find out soon enough. All right, thank you.
Kind of just
Give him a
nods.
nod.
Yeah,
Back inside.
activates his badge and yeah, the door closes.
I've asked him to calm Babak, so we should get an answer on what their stance is and us leaving. But I think we need to contact our ships also. Either way, this situation is something they should be kept abreast of.
And you get comm at the door, like within like a minute.
It's answering.
Who's
I'm
ans-
probably still near the door, so I'm happy to do it. But
Yeah, and it's Sanchez again. It says, Commander Babak says, you have ill-advised permission to disembark. And that's all he said, actually.
yeah, okay.
He looks like Sanchez looks confused at how brief and how quickly he got a response. Right? Because that's a bit weird. He didn't say who was allowed to go. It was very much abrupt, is the vibe you're getting. Then we have that little cue, which is the little musical note that plays like when Babak gave you a stare and said, we can't let that happen, like. Yeah.
Just,
The intrigue tune, yeah.
could we just play it off like free to go. Mind speak.
I mean,
He's not free
I
to
think
go.
that's sort of what we're. right? Like that's what we'd be doing if we left. We would just be going like, yeah, we're free to go. They can't hold us. We're not gonna say we're on a mission to take Query. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. But
I
question
guess,
remains: what do we do now? How do we prepare?
all the alarms
Um,
stop mid-conversation.
Huh.
Yeah, maybe the fight's over.
Maybe
want,
internally, maybe we have more time. I still kind of want to speak to the Evil Eric's crew.
The Kevlar crew are on versus, remember?
Oh, yes, fair point. Fair point.
And you have permission to visit the versus facility. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. No. Okay. I retcon it.
mentally retcon it, pulling the memories back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Retcon your mind.
Yeah. So what's the new plan now? Is MD actually getting into their armor, or are we just hanging out in
I would don
grey
armor.
tracksuits? Yeah.
like
Yeah, I think it's probably about time if we're leaving.
Also, it's like
soon
you're in your
anyway.
armor. You just covered it with a giant
Oh
jumper.
yeah, I just put a jumper on the top. That's
Yeah.
right. I forgot.
Yeah, you've got like just like armor with
An
a
oversized
hoodie.
t-shirt or whatever.
Now, weird, are you suiting up? Because that's going to cause
Not
a.
until
I was going to say, yeah,
yeah.
that'll be a statement. So yeah, I think CC, you hear the little kind of pistons move as his legs stomp forward as he like jostles side to side, and he just
How
looks.
big is CC's leg rig?
The leg rig is probably the size of Zig.
Okay.
So he's probably up to like maybe like peck height on a Zora, as in the top of CC.
He's reasonably large now.
It's maybe up to 5 foot. Yeah, counts as a medium creature for all mechanical purposes, I guess. Yeah. He's obviously started work on his mech. Let's face it, that the captain promised him, or the admiral,
Oh, I'm an admiral now.
Mm.
God.
Yeah, an admiral of one.
You're gonna give CC his
So-
rank? Is that something you're gonna do now?
Oh yeah. CC, how's Chief Intelligence Officer?
Was
What for you?
that was that his role?
I don't know. I think it was
Chief Science Officer, was it?
Science
Yeah.
Chief Science Officer.
And he just kind of goes, who else was going to do that job?
You would nod. Yes. Yes, I
Is he-
chose incorrectly.
As like two of his hands are still working a screwdriver, like twisting some of the bolts onto the side of his rig.
I mean, Weird could have probably done it as well, but that's fine, right? He can do everything. That's his fault.
He's saying all this to CC?
No, he's just thinking to himself.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, how do we deal with this situation, though? Because I'm confused how we get Weird.
You mean
If he
you
can't,
get
like-
query?
No, I mean, the idea of getting queries fine, right? Like, sneaky in part.
Just sneaky out.
Yeah, I mean it's not that
that's
big.
the problem.
Is it though? Like, I mean, if you can get in, you can get out.
sneaky to the shuttle, right? But
Mhm.
it's maybe a dangerous route.
Well, I mean, the null space chamber is big enough to fit the armor and query. So, easily, you could fit both in. So you can sneak in, sneak out, right? Yous could be nearby in a cupboard. Sneak in, sneak out, pile everything into the, the null space once Weird's back out. And then just, all of yous just put CC in the null space chamber, I guess. Why not? I assume you've got 10 minutes or some shit of air, probably. Obviously, Alex will totally look up the null space chamber to see if breathing inside is a thing, because CC does need to breathe. Thank you.
That's what he should. Oh, he shouldn't. He should have. Well, I don't know what level it is, but he should have at least 24 hours.
I
or
mean,
better.
I don't know what CC's wearing. I'll be honest with you, right? And currently he's got mecha legs, so it's very confusing what CC does and doesn't have a lot of the time. But arguably, you would consider the breathing being a problem. Whether or not it is a thing yet to cross bridge-wise. So yeah. Beyond that, you can assume that he's probably got about 10 minutes of air. So as long as you aren't 10 minutes,
Okay.
and we'll obviously have a confirmation once Alex finds his item in the rulebook somewhere. But considering it's so bag of holding, like, I assume it's similar. But you could also just walk to the shuttle at that point, and then you don't have any contraband in the form of two
Yeah,
potential
agreed.
prisoners. They're all in the null space chamber, right? This is the bag of holding trick, although, like,
Other than we probably. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
right? Like,
I think it's a gore.
Yeah, it sounds
It
like it.
can
While we're at that, I will calm
What was
through
that,
the door
sorry,
to
Alex?
Sanchez again. Sorry.
It can hold enough air for 1 medium creature or 2 small creatures for 2 days.
yeah,
Wow.
totally.
Wow, it
So-
actually specifies.
And
that.
also, he doesn't need air, so
Yeah, so it's basically 2 days for CC, right? Because he's a small creature. So
I just
Yeah,
get
so
this out here. Why Paizo do you have that detail in that place? Really?
that was probably under the poison
Oscar
rules.
ass crap. Yeah.
Random subpart of the poison rules. If you happen to have a null space chamber and you have a small creature in there. But anyway, so what's the final plan, guys? So we can start the dice rolling. I mean, there's no alarms now, so the ship being iffy is going to be very interesting now.
well, I was gonna come through and ask Sanchez again if something had happened. I know he's not gonna have an answer. I was gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, you can do
In
that if you
fact,
want.
no.
And then, or you
Is
could,
there any point doing that?
I mean, do you see a point in it? If not, then don't.
He's probably not going to be able to answer us, and it's going to look weird. So maybe not.
You open the door and you're in your armor again, and it's like, what? Like, is everything okay? Because you weren't in armor when it was Alarm City. It's just funny. Visuals. Okay, so team, what's the plan? What is the immediate plan? What is the next step? Because there's no alarms now. Everything seems oddly calm.
Well, this might change things. Let's try and figure out what the situation is.
I'll move us back to our wonderful suite. Shall I? That down the page. So,
Hold off the plan until we have a sense of what's going on.
gang? Everyone's characteristically quiet.
Just thinking.
So the bed's gone now, sadly. Goodbye, bed.
Rip bed.
Goodbye, bed.
Long will you be missed? Because like obviously, as you say, there now is it doesn't seem to be any pending massive distraction and security issue. So a massive security issue suddenly flying up out of nowhere is going to look really suspicious, and people are going to have the time and opportunity to look at it, which isn't good
We
for us.
should probably at least get a small grasp of what's actually happening. Like if we open the door and there's just Eoxians everywhere,
It's like, wait a minute, Sanchez, you weren't dead before.
and we don't have an issue. Like we've got a completely different issue. I mean, so I guess kind of finding out what's like where we're at in the whole alarms, no alarms.
Agreed. It is important to do.
Perhaps we're all dead already.
I mean, I am.
True.
The question, I suppose, is how do we do that without creating? How do we do that without sort of potentially exposing ourselves as being up to something?
Just ask casually, what alarms now? I mean, I don't
Yeah,
see that as suspicious, right?
and like
Like,
I feel like whenever anything happens, even in like just general life, general people just go, "Oh,
yeah,
alarms! Oh, no alarms! Oh, I wonder what happened."
No, I know. What I was saying is like if I pop my head out the door and speak to Sanchez and say something to the effect of, "Oh, the alarms are gone. Is everything all right?" He's going to tell me, as Ryan was saying there, like, yeah, he's probably going to tell me exactly what he told me before, which is like, I don't know, I'm not really that high up the chain. I don't know.
Yeah, his job is to
Someone in the
babysit,
pitch.
right? Like his job is to babysit. I think is the
Yeah.
gist of that. Yeah, unfortunately.
So the question is, who can we ask that can actually give us an answer, rather than just shrug at us and go, "Oh yeah, it seems to be all right. Oh, it's a bit weird." Um, I don't think we can speak to Babat directly right now. Shakos.
Nah,
No?
she's too straight and narrow, really, didn't she? She was. I mean, like she
Yeah,
says, she can't afford to be that.
she doesn't need to
type.
be in this, though. She doesn't need to have a clue what's going on. All she needs to do is answer a very reasonable question of what the
Is
fuck's
everything all
happening.
right?
She didn't even answer that reasonable question in the Kivallari, so like.
Also, you just haven't had an interaction with her since the Kivallari, and she was taken away. Not yet, anyway.
How does everyone? Fuck it, I'll say it in character. So I don't think asking Sanchez again is going to get us anywhere.
No.
But maybe asking to speak to Shakos might.
Who's Sanchez? Who's Shakos?
Oh yeah, he's in.
I was saying that mentally. Sorry,
Oh, well, you didn't say.
I thought I did. Sorry.
You did not.
It seems reasonable that you would, want to at least check up on your friend.
Now saying aloud.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I might ask, see if I can speak to Shakos. Maybe she can tell us what the hell's going on. See that? Lyko covering his bases.
And then.
Oh no! Yes, I did say that to my friends aloud.
And then
You could-
CC.
I'm sure you heard it.
Then CC will say, "Who's Shakos?"
Shakos. She's an officer, associate of mine. Did he meet her? No.
I mean, no.
No.
Like
No,
she'll,
logistically, no.
like they'll have been on the ship at the same time, maybe, if he's ever let CC on the Kivallari. But she didn't really leave the Kivallari, right? So
Yeah, so I don't think they did meet at all. No. You probably meet her at some point. She's been involved in stuff. We've interacted with her a number of times.
does she build stuff?
Sure. No.
He just kind of tuts and then goes back to screwing in like bolts onto his robo legs.
I sort of look around the group and shrug. I'm gonna step outside a second, and I do, and I go and speak to Sanchez.
Is this exoverbally or endoverbally?
This is with words what you speak with your mouth.
Okay, cool. Exoverbally then.
Aha, yeah. Yeah. Sorry again, Sanchez. Firstly, sort of points to the ceiling like everything back to normal. I'm taking it.
He goes, "Well, the alarm stopped."
Yeah.
He just looks at you and like kind of like tilts his head slightly side to side. Like that's usually a good sign.
Yeah. I just sort of nod. The main thing I was kind of had to ask you was, we haven't had a chance to speak to Shakos since we got on board. Do you know if that could be arranged?
I can ask.
Appreciate it.
Anything else?
Yeah, I don't really think there's anything. We're not leaving right this moment. Obviously, I know things are still unclear about the situation. Just we wanted to check that we had permission. As and when there's any update on whether or not that thing's hostile or what have you. Clue us in ASAP if you could, if you have permission.
Sure. I'll see what I can do.
All right, thank you. I'll pop back in.
Yeah. Just nods and shakes his head in that kind of, "Oh, the day I'm having," kind of way.
Yeah.
Taps his badge and his holo display comes up and then the door shuts on him. So, He is just that NPC you always have to go back to remind yourself what the quest text says, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
I keep on opening up his dialogue again.
It's never Sanchez, how are you? It's always Sanchez, what's this? Can you get me that?
Sanchez, where can I find the
Mhm.
Harbinger dust
Mhm.
required to activate the temple? um,
Yep.
So, yeah, step back in and just sort of like twiddle my thumbs a bit, waiting for a reply.
Yep. What's everybody else up to at the moment?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Wondering,
Unspeakable crime.
wondering.
Right. Okay.
Rhyming.
Quite frankly, I'm just trying to think of how we get query out still. Like, easy peasy.
Right.
But it's not coming to heat. I'm not getting in.
Okay. What is the part
Point
you
blank.
stumble on?
Like making it not blatantly obvious that it's just us broken out of jail. Like,
Okay. How would you do that then?
keep coming to fake his death,
Okay.
but like, how do we do that?
Killing it.
Can you
I
resurrect
think
people
there's
yet?
a central problem there, but
You kind of. No, I can reincarnate them. That counts, right?
Does it? Like, how would that even work with him? Right? I'd be. Mhm.
Be an interesting. Also, like, I kind of don't want to cast this spell ever.
Okay, that seems.
The text is a year long, so
I was gonna say, if you're reluctant to cast it, that must be terrifying. So, fair.
Yeah, it's actually quite a scary prospect when we've got mind link involved.
So,
mind link with ship. There we go.
I am the ship. Okay, what next?
what if? I don't know. I really don't understand how we're supposed to get him off without being noticed. I don't think we can.
Well, there's a statement.
Like we can do that, but very quickly somebody's going to be like, "Oh, he disappeared when they disappeared," right? I don't know how we do that unless there is some major distraction.
He could disappear and we could just stay for a while.
That's not a terrible idea.
To Israel. Well, something that doesn't need to breathe, right? Yeah. To Israel.
Yeah.
The only
Unless
downside,
they're
right?
weird or a null space chamber of sorts.
So the only downside to this is, obviously, if somebody goes missing on the ship and they do like, a ship-wide search and it gets intimate, yeah, if it gets intimate, that'll be problematic. But that is still, that's still good odds, right? Because searching you for a null space chamber, where arguably you could do a lot to try and hide it anyway, right? Like, yeah, there's reason to say you could maybe get away with that, even if they did search the entire ship. So that's not a complete write-off. The other thing would be user giving them time to have issues with CC again.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So you're kind of
Which might
trading.
help explain the idea that it's not just a one-off that happened to coincide with it.
What I mean by that is, at the moment, you could probably take everything and run. But if you wait longer because there's no like drama happening at the moment, it does seem like, yeah, you would
kind of go carte blanche just to piss off.
and Babak seems to be abrupt to help you, right? Given that he's went, yeah, they have permission to leave, with their crew. ... Obviously, they know query's not allowed to go, but he never specified that CC was to stay for questioning, which is good. He didn't have time to say that, and he was fairly vague about saying CC couldn't stay, or it couldn't go. So yeah, I would say that the longer you leave it, the less likely that status will remain, since you did tell Babak CC was the reason that Query got a weapon.
Did we just do the no Sanchez, sorry, other one.
Shakos.
That's the one. Yeah, it was an RS. It was
That's
like, what's
okay,
the RS here? we just find out the situation, and if it seems kind of decent,
Can you roll culture for me as well, Zora?
we go to plan A, which was just minus the. I don't know actually, because we can't do plan A, right? Because we can't do the alarms
Think-
anymore. I'm forgetting about that.
Lyco,
I'm
you could do that as well. To be fair, Lyco as well.
Yeah, roll culture.
Yeah.
Culture.
I have rolled.
Okay.
It's not a control for me.
Okay. Yeah. There's another 31. There we go. That's what we like to see in this game. 31s. So Lyco probably hasn't thought much about it because you're too busy on the how do we solve the query problem. But Zora, the ship on the display, right, is probably got about 5,000 people on it. Like it can hold a lot. That is a yeah. It also has a weapon section the length of a paragraph. So
I was about to say, and it's evidently a warship, right?
its classification is a Supercolossal Ultranought.
Yeah.
If you must know,
Sounds pretty fucking wall-like to me.
if you were to compare you and Lyco's knowledge, this ship, the ETEC Immortal class, you know, the Calm Before the Storm, is a tier 10. Right?
And just to get it out there, that's an SCU. That is a Ian Banks declaration, and they didn't even credit him.
Yeah, yeah, it's fucking shocking.
Sorry,
actually.
Paizo, but I call bullshit.
Oh, it's terrible on their front. Terrible.
Like,
The Norakami dropship that you have, or Norakama, sorry, dropship is a tier 8, right? So your dropship, which is the Fine Lover, is only 2 tiers below the Calm Before the Storm, right? And you could tell that from the rough comparisons we did of them. However, the ship you saw on the display, and as I said, Zora knows this more than MD, the tier 20 ship.
it's a big one.
It's a Supercolossal Ultranought.
That's hefty.
Because this was the ATEC, the Calm Before the Storm, is a huge cruiser. It's classified as. Yeah, that isn't Supercolossal Ultranought. I'm going to keep saying because it's really fun to say.
Session title right there.
Yeah, right. And medium transport is what the dropship is. So medium transport, huge cruiser, Supercolossal Ultranought. Sounds like a Muse album.
Good.
Wow. Savage. But yeah, they have very powerful shields, crazy numbers of weapons. Yeah. Like their ship's power core is probably triple that of the Calm Before the Storm. So if it wanted to lay waste to the ship, it probably wouldn't break a sweat doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of got that vibe anyway.
Mhm.
The sheer
It's-
size of the fucking thing.
But aye, just to give you a bit more scale of this isn't just a random like ship. There are probably not many of these, if more than one, right? It's yeah. It's a big
You
one.
think we should give them a call?
Just randomly teleport into them. Hello everybody, diplomatic incident, anyone? But yeah, like there's it's reasonable to assume that escaping its notice would take clever work, right? If you pissed it off in a way that meant it was going to follow in some way. Same with obviously the I was going to call it the Immortal again. Oh fucking Evanescence. The Calm Before the Storm. Like as I said, it would be about 55-45 in the odds to fight the Immortal, right? The Immortal class, but because if you get a couple of lucky hits, you would do well. But a tier 10 versus a tier 8, you can tell the tier 10's gonna maybe pull ahead. But yeah, that's just to give you some like food for thought. Is the Vesk most likely to have faced this nonsense? Like Lyco, you probably know some of this, right? Maybe not all of the specifics of it,
Okay.
but you definitely know that it is probably double everything that this ship is.
Yeah.
Easy.
I know that it's dramatically outclassing us.
Yes. Even if you don't know there's exactly 5,000 crew, you know that there's probably upwards of 3,000, right? Like that level of vagaries. Yeah. At least 7 people on that ship. Understated sensors guy, thank you. But as for that, you could always just leave query behind if you really had to. You probably shouldn't, but
I
I
mean,
don't think we can. I don't think we'll risk it.
I would actually have been happy to on top of that says, let's not let that happen, you know. And then I was like, oh fuck, I'm obligated now. Like,
Mm. Well, it's more of a case of why does, MO want him?
Whatever she
I
wants him for is Aspis related, presumably, right?
Well, I mean, Aspis is her
Blow 'em
bag. So
Yeah.
What was that, Alex?
Or we blow him up.
Is this is this a weird statement you're making?
It's just now character. We could destroy him in his entirety so that they can't take him.
I mean, it sounds like a. I mean, well, I know what Zora's like. Can we do that?
I don't think so.
Oh.
So, I mean, look, is there a way that we could subtly deliver a shuttle, maybe with query, maybe with some sort of high yield weapon, or maybe with like several ammo crates from several high yield weapons? Very close.
We get
to
stewards
the
to gun
jet.
them. I get what you're coming for, like, oh, it's a good idea. I'm joking.
And let them. No, don't get the stewards to do it. Let the ship itself destroy it. You'll be like, wow, blew up our ship. That's aggression. I don't know. That's a terrible
So
idea.
what
but
was the
no.
plan? Like send a bomb to the
Yeah.
It sounds a lot
That
like
would
you're
be
willing
my-
to sacrifice the whole stewardship.
Yeah.
I mean, no, he's not. That's Colin being fun. But realistically, I don't think there's a way that we can. I don't think we should go off him. I don't think that helps here. Begin with.
Okay,
Um,
Callum. You're going, are we really taking that off the table?
I mean, a
I'm
lot
not
of
going to take it off
this
the table. We
depends
just put
very
it
much
over here on the
on-
wall
Wait,
somewhere.
wait, I've got a cool idea, right? And it goes
Okay.
back to the escape pod idea, right?
Okay, okay.
Right. What if we just simply ask to go see Query, right? Right? Again. And then we suck him into an null space chamber really fast and then smash on the door saying, oh my god, there's nobody actually here. And then at the same time, escape pod's launch. Life signs. It's been kidnapped. Oh, Aspis. The bastards.
You know Aspis
I
aren't
was
on the
similar
ship,
to-
right? You know Aspis aren't on the ship. You know that,
Aspis
right?
everywhere.
like what?
That was
Like,
a better version of what I was about to suggest.
like,
Which was
but like
the-
alarms and stuff, maybe like somebody got on board when like the alarms were going off and nobody doesn't know. Like, I'm basically saying we fake a kidnapping.
Hmm.
It doesn't need to be
Oh, no.
Aspis, right? Aspis is just the first word that came to mind.
I don't think it will work.
All right, what was Callum's idea? Tell us your
Oh,
version
no.
of events.
My idea was we go in and we go for the sneak him out plan, but what we do is we just leave a trail of unconscious bodies from his cell to the escape pods and launch an escape pod. That was going
That
to
would
be my
require them believing that he was competent enough to achieve all that on his own.
Also, whose bodies?
Well,
exactly.
we'd
Do
figure
you
that
just
out as
get Ivan to make dummies that you just dress up
I mean,
and just throw
I think-
around?
I think
All
we considered,
mannequins.
Can we just stuff Query's clothes with like sheets and things? Leave that in the cell. Maybe they won't notice for
What if we-
days.
What if we right smuggled them out using the plan that I suggested to CC, right?
Okay.
Getting rid of him through not getting rid of him, getting him out there, and leave behind a moderately sized bomb. But like a bomb that isn't going to do much damage beyond that cell. The cell will contain the blast, but maybe. it will
I
be of a
already
kind
heard the
where-
cashier noise that Weird's brain makes when you say bomb.
bomb.
So, cha-ching!
This goes back to like, if we stick a bit for that, we'll just get searched,
True,
probably.
completely fair.
That's a matter of timing, though.
Mm.
But the matter of time it would be like a bomb goes off and then we swiftly leave. Would
Or
also
we
look
leave
equally suspicious.
Then
the bomb goes off.
Yeah.
That's
In-
all there's no way that this is going to be
Tomorrow.
non-suspicious, which is why we required very much a distraction of massive proportions. which
Why
looked
don't
like
we just
had,
make
now
it
we
not
don't.
suspicious by just asking my back, like, just turn a blind eye, pal. Like,
No. Because he's not going to risk seeing that.
Yeah, also he
He's
kind
not
of is
record.
turning as blind an eye as he
Yeah.
can at the moment.
This is him seeing that by not seeing.
hmm His immediate abrupt permission to leave was everything you're likely to get from Babak. I don't mind being blunt about that. The rest is up
Maybe
to you to
speak
capitalize.
Query and convince him that he needs to bust out and just like, oh no, he's cracked, and then they'll just vaporize him or something.
That seems
this
he's
goes back
able
to
to
my
bust
gun
out.
query.
I don't see any of these as a particularly good solution. I'm not gonna lie.
But are you willing to settle on one of them?
I'm siding with
We
planting
don't.
a bomb in the jail.
Okay, right. I'm shocked by this. Yep.
I don't think it's the best idea on the table, but I'm drawn to it.
Okay.
It is an idea, which is really half the battle.
What if we spam their scanners
Okay.
with random ships popping up all over the place and set off the alarms internally ourselves?
Okay. Then what?
How are we going to do that without leaving very obvious traces unless we have CC do even more fucking around?
Yes.
I mean, if we're going to set off alarms, we might as well just go back to Planet Hero.
Yeah, that is sort of my thing.
Yeah.
Like, the whole reason we're not doing Planet is because we didn't want to set off alarms and stuff again.
But we wanted alarms, so let's set off alarms.
How long does it take to get in and out of your armor? Weird. See.
There is no way of knowing.
I think that's a
There
lie.
is no way of
Is it like D&D where you've got so many minutes of donning and doffing? Because that would be the only real time factor, right? That we're up against, because it might just be. Yeah, I'm happy with saying that's probably the only real factor, right?
Let's assume that they tell me.
Yes. Glorious assumptions.
some, presumably, is the answer.
Got the amount of air in a null space chamber, surely.
I
You
mean,
can hastily don armor in half the normal time. Hold on.
No.
The normal time
Getting into or
is-
exiting a suit of powered armor requires a full action.
nice. So really quickly then.
Yes.
Excellent.
I had to step up to it and Tony Stark in.
Nice. That's good to know. That's like super, super kind.
Oh yes, that's easier to put on than regular armor.
I had to take a full feat for that, Genesis.
Yeah. To be fair though, it was less than an action though for you in Genesis.
yeah. Just,
Oh. And armor that is at least 8th level, but less than 16th level takes half the normal time to don or remove.
Ooh.
Armor of 16th level takes 1/4 the normal time to don or remove.
So basically it just helps the more advanced it is.
Mhm.
It's very
makes
nice.
zero sense, but
No, because it's like Stark's like, as his suits got more advanced, he had a machine to put it on him the first time, then he could he had his walkway into his house to put it on him, and then eventually it just opened and he fell out of it, right? And then eventually it became nanites.
Bloodstream.
Yeah. So yeah, it makes sense. I understand.
it's like the robots putting on him.
Yeah,
It's good.
it's just his swagger in the Avengers movie. I love that scene when he just walks.
Yes,
It's very good. Anyway, so
it is good.
let's execute a plan, guys. What is the plan we're executing?
I suppose it depends on what information we get from Shakos as well, right?
Well,
If we can get.
You could wait on
information
that if
from
you wanted, yeah. Like, why don't we wait on that? Coming
I
back.
think there's no harm in waiting at the moment.
Yeah, because the only thing you're going to do is lose some time and gain some info, right? So, excuse me, that's not the worst.
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, obviously, we don't know exactly how. To what extent we're dealing with a ticking clock here. We don't know what's going on outside these walls. It could be that situation is about to devolve drastically, and we just don't know it yet. So we can't really. I don't want to waste too much time. Don't want to waste too much time, but yeah, we don't have enough information to act on really right now. I don't think.
Can EMP.
It also seems ill-advised to me personally.
To what end?
Cut
I
off
think
all
that
the
was
power.
the end. That we don't want to do that.
Why not?
So we're going back to my plan of turn off the shields.
Kind of. Yes.
And just leave.
I mean, if we find that there's no battle, right, then a wee work up
And-
for a wee minute or two might go to our favour, you know?
It's definitely a plan.
I mean, I still think the kidnapping plan's a better plan, but like,
I think it's the only plan that makes sense. But even then, like the specifics of how we're gonna hide, how we're gonna conceal the fact that we're doing it, that's a little trickier.
Okay, so time passes, right? Time passes,
Yay.
and there's a comm at the door, obviously. And who answers the door?
sure, I'll do it.
We can
What's
assume
the
that
door?
we can
Oh,
assume
you're the
that
admiral.
we can assume that there will be about 20 or 30 minutes, right, of use like getting into armor and also just
Yeah,
chatting about stuff.
So I'm
and,
not just standing at the
Yeah.
door still.
Um,
I was already armoured, so it makes
Yeah.
sense that I would just be
yeah, so Zora can walk up to
on
the door,
point.
open the door, and Babak is standing there, and he just walks in.
Helps, I think. But back.
As he's standing in the room, and he
Oh,
says,
he just invited himself. Rude.
"Of course, he just walked in. Yeah, it's his shit."
Rude. Privacy.
And he says, "I mean, you opened the door. I mean, that's there. There it went. Right, there's a consent button on there somewhere." And
Small
he,
writing.
he says, "It would seem like the." And how would he phrase this? The diplomat has arrived already. And he looks around the room.
From Aspis?
He just looks, he narrows his eyes when he sees Cece, like, hanging half out of his little robot legs to screw in knee plating. And then looks back at the group as if that's something I'll talk about later. And then
He won't.
and then he says, yes, it would seem Ambassador Narakas is shuttling over as we speak.
It's troublesome.
He says, he makes a noise that you're not really sure what it means, right? But there's a throat-clearing type noise that only Cathathans can make, and I can't make it because I'm not a Cathathan. And he makes that, and it's probably something like a tut, right? That is just utter disgust. And he looks over at you. Yeah, like something horribly painful sounding.
That was really sore, so it better.
And he says, Query has right of representation, and he has asked for this. And he looks at Lyko, and he looks at you, Zora.
I look at Zora.
I would ask that it would be one of steward personnel that did this. However, this was rejected, and sadly Query is, if to be subject to steward law, gets the pact, or the pact law, you should say, pact world law, he gets all of the law, which means he can choose his representation, ill-advised as it may be.
Zora's got a mental sigh.
Okay.
Sorry, what was it Weird said there?
So he's chosen CC, hasn't
Imagine.
Ivan.
So, Alex says he has asked that one of you take this position. He did not specify which.
he? I'll do it.
He says in brain head? Brain speak.
He says, I will allow you time to discuss this matter, but note that the ambassador's shuttle will be docking in the next 10 minutes. I remind you, Quint, of how ill-advised all of this is. And just leaves. Just turns and goes. You know, folds both of his arms behind his back, as in his sets of arms, and leaves.
Before you leave, sir, I don't want to say sir, because that's not
Yeah,
what I
whatever.
would say.
Commander is fine.
Yeah,
Like,
commander. Yes, I'd say commander, because he wouldn't say sir.
he does that half turn, you know, back into the room from the doorway.
Is the Event Horizon still on board?
I believe so.
Or just nod?
He just tilts his head slightly to nod as well, and then leaves. Immediately I had the poster in my head when you said that, and I'm like, I need to shift that and pull game knowledge back into my mind.
Mentally, then, well, it looks like our time frame has moved up a bit.
CC, while hanging off of his Robolog, says, "Who's query?"
You know what? Stick with that. I like that.
One of the thumbs just sticks up, you know, in your direction. As he's still working away on his Robolegs.
This is good shit. He's gonna be a great witness.
We could counter diplomatic protection with more diplomatic protection in my head.
Yeah, I mentally was gonna say, Captain, that's actually a good idea.
Correct him, Nico. Correct him.
Admiral. He would probably sniggle.
I just raised an eyebrow at that.
He would just be sniggling. Admiral isn't a rank that's in the Vesk. He probably doesn't care about it at all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, just remember you would need to, like, reinstate with somebody, either Demogesh or Matva, unfortunately, for that status to work.
Unfortunately, that would involve me probably selling my soul.
We can get you another one.
Can you?
CC looks and goes, "How much are those worth?"
Zora would look inquisitively, also.
We can check that later on. Right
Sees-
now, it might be the cost of one crew member.
CC kind of shrugs, like, probably all three sets of shoulders, and then
Okay,
goes back to work.
it's a good idea though, Captain. Admiral.
Snigger again.
Weird. This representation thing.
Yes.
Those finger guns were for you, Zig. Just so you know.
You know what you're getting in for?
Brian,
That's me.
why would legal matters be covered by culture?
It would be profession, space lawyer.
Actually tracking? I don't know.
Yeah.
Lawyer.
You could get, like, general legal knowledge from, like, obviously, like, if this is against Kasathan culture, or if this is against, you know, Android culture, like, you could get legal, like, vague legal knowledge. Not necessarily enough to, like, win a difficult case, but you could maybe win, like, an easy case with a good cultural, right?
Yep.
I think with all the money and bribery and backing, this isn't going to be classified as an easy case.
Could I inquire about what the case is against? What's the representation for?
Well, he asked for representation because he's going to be questioned by a diplomat that may just take custody of him. So he gets the right to have advice with him in case he ends up agreeing to stuff he shouldn't, right? Because for whatever reason, Narakis has enough political swing that she's pulled diplomatic status somehow. Nobody necessarily knows how.
Could he ask for privacy with his?
I mean, if you count as his counsel.
That was my plan.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then I just disappear with him.
I mean, no, I wouldn't necessarily say then disagree with him, but then at least arrange for it in some way. Like,
Like try and get him
Right.
on board with said plan, you mean, so that he doesn't
would
fight
help.
you?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness, you're taking me away nowhere. Oh.
I live in this cube now.
What about
Mhm.
mentally? I'll see it then. Okay, so you can speak to him and arrange. Well, make sure he's aware that we're going to be trying to get him out of here. And Captain Admiral, if you're
And mate, it does. Just keep on with Captain. Just keep saying Captain. It's
No, I like
Yeah.
this. It's better.
No,
if you're willing to, invoking diplomatic, diplomatic, whatever the fuck. In this case, might be the Vesk might have more sway even than Aspis, because Aspis isn't likely to go to war with the Pact Worlds. That leaves CC and creating the opportunity for years to smuggle prisoner out. Me to try and find out what's happening via Shakos.
Sort of it's. Aye.
What are you doing?
There will be repercussions if I get back in with Matva.
I don't think
Some
there's
morally dubious repercussions, most
I mean,
likely.
you'd literally be like a soldier equivalently, right? Like you wouldn't have as much agency as you would like.
Point of we might not even be able to control our own actions anymore.
So here's a thing that might annoyingly come to Zora's mind. With Matva, it's pretty much a go back to your old job one, right?
Mhm.
You ever worked for Demogesh before? You could technically negotiate a lot of agency. I'm just saying, I know you don't like to hear that, but Demogesh would probably take you and your name as a win more than needing you to do everything he said.
And to be honest, I'm definitely going to betray Damogesh at one point. Matva's still on the shelf, so
I'm just saying that's something that you would also know, because with Matva, it's not really a let's negotiate, it's a welcome back to that job that you did. Whereas with him, it would definitely be a completely new thing that you'd have to establish, which could give you a lot of say in what the expectations are, right? So you'd have more sway, I guess, ultimately, as a independent operator, under the the leadership, as it were, of Demogesh. But
wouldn't it be a bad idea to be able to probably fleece the situation with Damogesh a bit there as well,
also,
right?
I mean, like, keep your enemies close.
Yeah.
That's
you
not
could
the
use
worst thing.
you could use the resources of Demogesh to help hide Query if you wanted.
I think.
Again, I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying you would know this as Zora.
It's definitely the better of both worlds because, like I said, like Matva's still on the cards, and whether or not I would actually shoot on the back of the head if I got a chance, I'm definitely going to do that to Damogesh first chance I get. Like,
Maybe
Mm.
maybe a little hasty.
I mean, probably did both of them, to be honest. Both shitheads. But I mean, yeah, the enemy's close thing is quite a intriguing thing as well. Might be able to get some inside info on what the fuck's going on with that little alliance and stuff.
Better idea of what's going on exactly.
There is a rather troublesome option that we could go with. I'm saying this in my mind back in game.
Okay.
Damogesh did give me a proposition. That's the word. Yes. Damogesh did give me a proposition when he abruptly visited me on the final level. Quite frankly, discussing this matter with him might be more effective. Seemed to be quite adamant he wanted me within his ranks, and that could work to our advantage.
Would that include control of? Would we be subcontractors?
Aye, Colin. Aye.
I know, Ryan, I know.
Unfortunately for us, probably contracted.
Now, keep in mind that you could probably get a lot of agency, right, with Demogesh, because you could probably just say, if you want to use my political clout and my name and whatnot, like for your own gain, I have to benefit from this too, and I need a lot of scope, right? I need a lot of agency on my part, and that includes my crew being my crew. Right? You could cover that, right? That's not that big a stretch. Like, being a space war hero is a big get for him, especially since you're ex-Obsidian Star, and that's a huge get for him. So, yeah, because it's everything that makes Matva special is the Obsidian Star side of things. If he gets access to some of that, you know, I said you're a big bargaining chip.
Let's just say, in his eyes, I've got a lot more to offer him than what he can offer me. If you get a meeting.
So we do that?
I hate it, but yeah.
John.
This for fucking query. He was saying he was thinking himself. This wee shit realises what I'm doing.
I think we all know he won't.
Maybe there are other ways we can play this to our advantage too. So
this definitely gets us more info, possibly, than what we have, which is pretty much nothing.
how are you going to make the communication?
I mean, you've
Walks
got your
out the
shuttle.
bathroom. I was here all along.
Did he give me contact details, or did he tell me where to go?
You've got the shuttle, the Vesk shuttle.
Yeah, I know, but I actually have contact details of him.
Probably, yeah.
Right.
You did say get in touch with him, right?
Out of character, my concern is we can't necessarily even get in touch with him quickly enough for this to be resolved.
I mean, I could head out of the shuttle right now while Weird stalls for time with his lawyer.
I was gonna say, yeah, like if Weird could stall for time, that's something, right? It depends, Jenk. Weird can stall for time better than say Lyco, maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm going on the
Mhm.
legal
Okay.
section of the CC sub of the CC.
Yeah.
Legal conspiracy is an entire category.
And how the law is in the
there's
fact of conspiracy.
So many subcrigs for that.
Yes.
No, I think he can make some noise there.
Okay, yeah.
I can use my time, if possible, speaking to Shakos, although we didn't get an answer on that.
Query is the corporate name of the entity they establish on its birth, not the name of the individual.
So is he tax exempt yet, or is that does he have to rebrand to be tax exempt?
A legal name is, yeah.
Who knew when you were younger that your future selves would be playing make believe online and making legal tax jokes and finding it so funny about made up androids from other universes?
The letter in blood.
Anyway, so the comms go in the room again because of how long this conversation's taken. And it's just an audio message that plays over the intercom, and it just says that the event horizon is departing in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, that makes this situation a little bit less awkward. Good. I would pop my head out the door. Sanchez, can you ask my back to arrange transport my ship? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you need a steward escort? As in a shuttle from us? Does your shuttle not work? Is that why it was on the Key Valari? He looks confused.
I'm not the greatest pilot.
We could get you a pilot if you want, but how are you getting them back here?
Yes, yes.
I mean, my crew's probably going to need the ship, right? You can take the shuttle back.
CC just voices vaguely to the room. I can pilot.
Getting CC off the
We'll
ship's a
make it
good
work.
idea. CC can take me.
Yeah. While I've got you, Sanchez, any word on Shakos?
Babak says nobody was to have access to Shakos.
Oh.
It's just so fucking sus. And so sus.
Yes. Something is very
Just because she's
weird
climbed in
about-
an orange jumpsuit with one viewport to the jumpsuit, like,
Hey.
okay.
I am sus of Shakos, okay? As a player and as Zora.
So,
So,
could you escort me to the shuttle bay? Not entirely sure with the layout of this ship.
that's okay, yep. Anything else? He kind of like nudges his head in the door as if implying, is there anything else, or do I need to get somebody else to take my post here?
Nope. That's quite all good.
Not
That's
for now.
quite good.
Yeah, in that case,
Go CC.
CCA.
Have I given CC the note already?
I assume so.
Yeah, I have in the meantime. Yeah, let's
And
see.
then I assume that you've also then fed the note to Ivan.
Yeah.
That was destroyed. You probably got half a
Is that
spork back.
written on an organic paper? Or
It was actually free range.
When we get back to it, he'll know what the plan is. Okay, right. That minimises complications.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ascertain that because I don't think I'd explicitly set it, so I didn't want it to come back later that I had no idea what the plan was. If it comes to it, that we need him to execute.
It's hard to say that he knows what the plan is, but he has definitely read the paper and nodded. Probably giving you a thumbs up. But yeah, so CC jumps on his robo legs and, servo marches behind Zora. Yep. It's very, was it Ed 2000 or whatever that?
Ed 206 or 201?
Yeah.
Ed 20 something, anyway.
You like hobble side to side a bit.
209. 209, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think it is.
And then, so he follows behind and Sanchez calls in another officer to take his post and then off they go. What about everybody else in the room? What's the plan? So we'll move. Are you taking Ivan on the shuttle with you just for ease of not leaving Ivan behind?
That might be wise.
Not a bad shout.
Yes.
Zora.
Zora, Dora.
Admiral, you still with us, Admiral?
Admiral
The
Captain.
Abyss.
Yeah, the Abyss. He's
El
gone.
Abysso.
He's gone. He's just gone.
The.
I obviously thought I could sneak away, but no, he's gone.
He's like,
Okay.
aha, I'm away. Bye.
In the meantime, I'll tell you what Lyke was doing.
Yeah,
Lyke
please do.
was lurking, concerned by the sink with a coffee. Muttering to himself, probably. Why did I see Shakos? There's something to do. She's locked herself. Boom, the secure. I did think that it was a little weird, but.
Yeah, mutters conspiratorially. Yeah. Nico, you back yet? Nico, somebody go to his house. Nico.
Right, I'll be
Nico!
there in a second. Give me a wee while.
And maybe directions.
There it is.
Although me and you have had coffee near his house.
Well, that's it. That's all I need. Just tell
There
me
you
when we
go.
had coffee. I'll find it.
Yeah. It was probably one of the only times we've ever had coffee together. Which would have been in.
On it.
Yep, there you go. Sorted. Good.
Away.
I never had to again. Yeah, we'll get our Ivan confirmation because otherwise you need to deal with him, right? So what's your plan if you need to deal with him? Oh, there he is. Man, look at you disappearing as soon as we needed you.
Oh, god damn it.
Remember, next time put BR goddamn B in the chat.
Cool. Sorry.
We said, what are you doing with Ivan? Are you want to take Ivan with you or do you want to leave him here?
Yeah, I'll take Ivan with us as well.
Oh, good.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
it tidies up the Ivan problem, yeah. Okay, so those three, that's the weirdest fucking walking through the corridors of a stealth ship ever, isn't it? It's like an 8-foot lizard, or whatever height Zoras always just make you taller every time. Like, I think it's like, what are you, like 6 something as opposed to 8 foot?
I think I'm 7. I think I'm
Okay,
7
so
foot.
7-foot lizard, a now 5 foot because of Robolegs Skittermander, and just a 5 foot by 5 foot cube following behind. Just
Oh,
slowly.
wait. Apparently
I
I'm
want
8 feet.
art of this.
Okay, you're 8 foot. I was right.
I'm 8 foot. Yeah, you're right. You're right. 8 foot.
Okay, cool. I knew that was in my brain for a reason. But yeah, so you can be escorted by Sanchez all the way to the final hour shuttle. Do you want to go grab your weapons and all that from the Kivalari, I guess? Just
Yes.
to keep all that.
In fact, I just go.
You grab everybody's stuff from the Kivalari.
No, because that seems like a bad idea. If they do the arm up at some point, which I don't think will happen. But
The other two, like everybody that's left has weapons. You had weapons without weapons. Everybody's got weapons.
Oh no, I meant like as in like they might need it on this ship.
They
I don't
won't.
know if I'm allowed to. Okay, right.
I will
yeah,
guarantee
I'll take
that they
everybody's.
won't, because LIGO has blades built into his arms and a mind that's reinforced. We've got Weird, who has 3 heavy weapons or some shit built into his tank armor that he has in a pocket dimension, and Zig is a soulless killer. So
That's not true.
it's not true.
He has buckets for
He
souls.
has a soul.
He's got yeah, that's true. He has a soul. Yes. But like Zig is the weapon. So yeah.
Yeah, true. Right, cool. Yeah, I'll grab everybody's weapons.
It just means that if everybody has to escape to one ship, they don't have to make a stop off in the Kivalari anymore, which is good.
I'll send like a wee text message or something to everybody saying, "Got your weapons, got your guns," just so they don't run to the ship. Like,
so
where's my
everything's
guns?
everything's been moved to the shuttle at least, which means if you all escape podded out, you can at least all meet up again in the future without worrying about having to come back. So there's that at least. Yeah. The officer outside the room while they're being led away, and you just get the message. Comms and just walks in. Says, sorry for the interruption, Officer Durant here. And then she looks around. And she says, the prisoner, Query, is insistent that he see his counsel. I was told that was one of you. She looks around and kind of like questioner looks at Zig, who's very shiny.
Yeah, that's generally how it works. Is that the shiniest one is usually the lawyer. But in this case,
I don't think it's a look of he looks like a lawyer. It's just a look of, well, that's not something you see every day. I'm gonna write her name down, Officer Durant, because she now exists. There we go.
For some reason, my brain forgot the word Durant after you first said it and assumed it said Jenny.
Okay, just Officer Jenny. Sure. Jenny Durant.
Officer Duran.
Best cameo.
Yep. I don't want to be sued like how Yuri Geller tried to sue Kadabra. But anyway, back in this game.
Yeah.
So she's waiting an answer, basically.
Weird. Stands up, holding a pen in each hand. So that would be me.
The international sign.
Yeah, 4 pens. You're right. She goes, follow me.
Yes, can you have someone bring me some reading glasses, please?
And she's like, points at the kitchen and goes, can you just fabricate some?
I don't have time for that, god damn it.
We'd still have to fabricate them and bring them to you.
Yes, but I would be doing lawyering.
She just like breathes in through her nose. Says, let me get you to the prisoner first. And then nods and then turns and leaves the room.
Into the mind link. I think I can buy us some time.
Okay.
So, you lose. Weird. No.
I think Zig's gonna walk over to Lyko and just, I guess, maybe like grab a coffee himself and kind of just stand listening to his idle mutterings. Um, and hmm.
After, well, a few seconds of you sort of standing there, I think Lyko sort of just goes quiet. A moment later, maybe. I don't know what to do, kid. I'm saying this out loud, by the way.
I think I'm going to say this in his mind. I mean, how bad would it be if we went and looked for?
Depending, mentally answering, by the way,
Mhm.
depending on what exactly they have. I don't know. I don't know why we're not allowed to speak to her. I don't know where she's being kept. I don't know how to find out where she's being kept. Well, I mean, I do know how to find out where she's being kept, but in a way that would actually work and that they wouldn't know about. If we still had CC or hell even weird here, maybe that'd be doable. But
I mean, here's a question for you, Zig. Does your mind link distinguish? Like, technically, is everybody hearing this that's in range of it? Because
That is a
I
good
don't know if it
question.
actually doesn't filter out everybody. Like if you,
Telepathic bond.
yeah, scare me that because I feel like Weird and Zora will hear that because Zora didn't even have to like text you guys the information. You could
yeah,
just
that's
have
true. He may be
thought it.
near enough
True,
that he can.
true.
Yeah, if he's close enough, then we can.
What I mean is as well, I just don't know if you can mind link only to Zig. I think it's actually it might just
An
be a
open channel.
yeah.
I'm going to have to read the spell because it doesn't give you much
No worries.
other than why it's different from the spell. Give me 2 seconds.
What's the name of the spell?
Telepathic bond.
Right, tell you what, you keep in
here
the
we go.
scene, or if you've got it there, good.
Okay, that's fine. It's not very specific. You forge a telepathic bond between yourself and a number of willing creatures, each of which must have an intelligence of blah blah blah. Each creature included in the link is linked to all others. So I guess like that's the only thing that it doesn't. The creatures communicate telepathically, regardless of language.
Yeah, I would say it's in everybody.
Okay, so it's like an open comms thing.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
there's a what's the range? Sorry, is there a range?
Vast distances.
Distances.
Okay, that's not specific. Okay.
Although, over any distance, although not from one plane to another, so no jumping.
Oh yeah,
So
right. No, we did go over this
anybody,
before.
anywhere.
But
It means
even
that if somebody
stuff-
went into drift, you'd lose contact with them if one of you went into drift, is how it works.
or into, for instance, no space.
Yeah, like arguably. Yeah.
So I actually okay. I'd still think that because we can't have weird or CC, breaking into databases here while they're elsewhere doing other things, right?
Would that not be distracting for everybody if you're mind linking?
Yeah.
Right, I was going to say, like...
Well, I'll try and keep it down. I did think of that, but I don't know how we can feasibly do it. Loud again, big slurp finishing off the coffee. Yeah.
We could just...
Stuck.
I don't know.
Raise his eyebrow.
I just think it's pretty odd that we wouldn't be able to see her. Like, why the secrecy? I get that she's, important, but
Not that important.
exactly.
No offense to her, but they let her speak to, the people that we shouldn't have got first crack at, people that we were personally connected to, people we work with. They were lenient, extremely lenient, which I appreciate. But saying this all loud because
Mhm.
it's nothing that it wouldn't be obvious that Ico was thinking anyway. But they won't let us speak to Shakas, someone who they can presumably trust to follow procedure. You know, I don't. Something's not right. Feels like they're hiding her away for some reason.
And on that note, we then cut away to Zora. What are you up to in the shuttle, Zora? What's the plan? You've piled everything in.
Probably just chilling, waiting for it to get to the final level. I mean, you can't do anything.
So
really,
you
right?
want CC to actually just actually take you back to the final hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm on.
We have all that happen. The shuttle leaves, yeah, and off you go. You're headed back to the final hour. I can't remember exactly. Can't exactly remember how far away that is, but maybe when you're going past, like CC specifically plans a route that's uncomfortably close to the other ship because CC likes the other ship. So
Of course it does.
mm-hmm.
He
And
just
there's
wants a wee peek, right?
multiple warnings sent to the ship from both ships about the proximity. In fact, to which case that eventually pilots further away.
Cool. I was going to
Yeah,
have to force the issue.
It takes a while as he's like staring, sat on the consoles, looking out the window as much as
He's
possible.
probably getting like PTSD, war sweats,
Mhm.
or something at this point.
And then, and yeah, you just head off to the final hour. Weird. You are shown to the I guess the secured meeting room. I guess with where the door opens, he seems to have been cleaned up somewhat and given like new clothing. He seems to have been given, I wouldn't call it formal clothing, but clothing that makes him look presentable for like a meeting, right? So he looks relatively much better dressed than he was covered in blood. And he looks up at you when you walk in, like kind of shocked. And the door closes, so it's just you two in the room. Durant stays outside, and he looks at you. So he starts like scratching his shoulder, and he's like, "I thought Lyko would be the one."
Lyko has things to attend to.
Oh, right, okay. It's a stewardship. He's a steward. Yeah, Lyko, he's probably the best man for the job. What's the job?
Yeah. We are planning a way to get you out of here.
Good. There's still a wee. Good.
Yes.
If I were to, why do they want me?
You know when you shot people?
No, not the stewards. The others.
Aspis.
Is that who it is?
Yes.
Kinda like
arms
looks
dealers.
Oh. He looks at you and your arms briefly, and then looks back down at the table again. And starts scratching his shoulder and just starts pacing up and down. And it's like, plan. You have a plan? You brought a plan. You're good at plans.
We are developing a plan.
Oh dear.
We need you to be prepared for when it happens. I have the capacity to walk out of here whenever we want, but sure the team preparations in order. So we need to buy ourselves some time.
Oh, okay. Time. I can buy us time.
Can you?
Yeah.
How?
How much time have you got?
Right now we've got plenty.
Right.
We need.
Okay. I was told that I was going to be shown to the diplomat lady. Narakis? That's the one. They said I was to see her after our meeting here. Are we speaking to her?
I would request that I speak to her first.
Right. Okay.
The
You should do
longer
that.
we can go without her seeing you, better.
What if
Oh.
what if I spoke to her though and just kept talking for like what was time?
I mean, we can try that after I've tried a few things,
Okay.
and we get even more time.
So I'll wait here. He starts just
Yes.
pacing back and forth.
That's it. We don't have to end this meeting immediately, do we?
He just looks at you with a strange look, and then he just kind of continues pacing back and forth. He doesn't say anything. What are you up? What do you do, Weird? What's the plan?
Sitting at the table, one set of hands clasped in that,
Mhm.
clasped together under the chin.
The contemplation.
Yes,
Mhm.
while the other set of arms is resting back over the back of the chair.
Okay, business and pleasure. I like it.
Yes, smart casual.
Mm-hmm.
It's vibe now.
Yep.
So, do you have a variation of Aspis in your world taking interest in you?
Arms dealers, you said. Wep-
Yes.
Weapon folks. I think every world's got something like that. Why would how did they know I'm here?
It's their business to know things, but I don't know the specifics of it.
Does they think I'm valuable?
Well, you are.
And he doesn't quite finish that, but he was clearly going to say how I am, but he doesn't quite finish that. He says, why would I? And he's trying to like say about 3 different sentences, but he doesn't really get anywhere. Quite frankly, he's just kind of mumbling to himself.
What is so special about you?
And he kind of like, after his mumbling attempt, goes, that's what I was trying to say. Like, there's, besides being, you know, from there.
Transdimensional.
Yeah. Is that valuable here?
Yeah, they could seek to interrogate you to understand how you became transdimensional.
Isn't
One
that
thing
your
I can
fault?
ask.
And he just points to you.
Please tell me more about how it's my fault.
I asked, I didn't say it was, I was saying, isn't it your fault? Didn't you ask that thing to bring me here?
Yes, but how did you get to that thing?
He kind of like looks as if he's never even thought of the question. And kind of shrugs. I just figured that was you.
How did you survive the death of your world?
And he kind of looks at it and goes, you asked that before, actually. Yeah, in the white space.
Yes.
If I knew, I'd tell you. And he just looks lost at that. I expected that I was dead.
Do you remember being killed?
And he like shakes his head and he's like, I remember everything going to shit. And then I woke up there. And I assumed I was dead. Then you appeared.
You don't strike me as much of a fighter.
He like scratches his shoulder again and goes, no, I don't really do fighting, no. But the fact that I am here must mean something though, right? Is that maybe why they're here? To find out why? What if they could help us?
They don't want to help us.
But so if they were helping themselves though, and he's clearly trying to justify this, right? You can see him trying to justify it. If they're trying to help themselves, we couldn't help but learn in the process, right?
Yes, but then you give Aspis access to new worlds that aren't ready for.
He looks at you confused. What world? Oh, like another dimension.
Yes. Let us not spread their cancer any further than.
He kind of like goes, yeah. What if? Because you have a Vesk, so what if you just made the Vesk get rid of Aspis though after they knew, and then we'd know and they wouldn't.
But you think one Vesk would tear down all of Aspis?
No, like the Vesk. He kind of like shrugs and gestures to the room as a whole.
We have one Vesk.
Oh. It just seems like he's now recalculating.
What's good?
And there's a comm at the door.
Yes.
And then the door opens and Durant says, the diplomat will see both of you.
I'm sorry, we have not finished discussing legal strategies.
The diplomat has requested that they have a meeting with the legal counsel first in advance, and their pressing time is not like Durant looks like they have just been screamed at, right? Like they look like they're trying to like regurgitate politely what was said to them. I go, the diplomat's getting their way on this one. Commander Babak says their time is more valuable than ours in this aspect. And she kind of nods vaguely like that is complete horseshit, and she hates it. She gives you like a really faked smile, a tight-lipped fake smile. She goes, I will come back for you in 2 minutes. And then closes the door. So basically she's giving you 2 minutes of continuing their conversation.
If you're gonna kill him, you better do it.
Yeah.
I'm not recommending that, to be clear.
So
yeah, like, I was going to say CC for some reason. So Query is pacing up and down, like scratching his like, stubbled chin, to try and work out what his new plan of action is going to be. His slightly faded violet skin with his, platinum stubble. And he goes, okay, so we got 2 minutes. What's the plan? I think I should speak to her. I mean, I'd quite like to know. What if there's a way back? What if my universe isn't gone?
We cannot risk giving them a way back or giving Tectolanis a way to other worlds.
Who is that?
Destroyer of worlds. So we believe.
Right, okay. That sounds bad.
Do you know what entity ruined your world?
Sorry,
not Tectolanis, was it?
No, Tectolanis is the Blintage. Urglass
yes,
is the...
Urglass. Yeah. I know words.
Yeah, then he'll agree with you, because that's what he said to you way back when. Yeah, the Librian.
Yes.
Kind of nods, kind of profusely, like almost angry. You can see him. If he was, totally here. He's about 80% here. This is better than most days. And he goes, yeah, you have one of those, that's bad. It might not be bad having somewhere to go if this place goes the same as my place. So
yes, but we could not risk him following us
into
someone else's world.
Do you think is your Urglass my Urglass? And he just looks at you like terrified.
He is likely the weird to your Urglass's query.
Right. Okay. That might work in their favour.
What manner?
And then the door opens again.
Oh.
And then Durant says, I have to take the prisoner next door unless you are looking to talk to the diplomat yourself. Representation?
I will be looking to talk to the diplomat.
I thought you might. Please follow me. And then Durant steps backwards and allows you to leave the room and then seals the room. Unless you want to say anything lasting to a query in the meantime as you leave.
Just a bit of time.
Says, I can buy you all the time you need, just let me speak to her. He gives you like a thumbs up and runs his hand nervously through his hair. Then he's just like fixing it also. And then the door seals shut. And she says, protocol's protocol unfortunately, and this is all bullshit. Forgive me for saying. As she's just walking across to like, another part of the more secure section of the ship. And I assume like Weird doesn't say anything to her.
No.
Okay, yeah. And then you're led up to another room. A door swooshes open, And yeah, you walk in, and Emma Onarakis is sat at the large desk. There's a bunch of like seats that are. It's a lot more comfortable an environment than the kind of sterile interrogation type room you just left. This room's definitely designed to make you relax. And she just smiles when you walk in, and then Durant closes the door behind you. And she goes, "Please, have a seat." And she stands,
Thank you.
and you hear the clink, clink of the glass points of her feet.
I didn't expect I would be seeing you again.
She smiles and goes, "Have we met?"
Yes. In fact, I believe it may cause some procedural issues.
I see.
You'll just shoot with the professor. The prisoner, sorry.
And she smiles and she goes, "Excellent, I would like to discuss this. Please sit." And then she says, "Would you like some tea or perhaps something more meaningful?" And then she motions to like the bar at the other side.
There is enough meaning in tea.
She,
Thank you, escapism.
she smiles and she says, "I would say a man after my own heart, but I believe you not to be a man and me to have no heart." She smiles and walks over to the tea station. It's like an old-fashioned rental style tea set. She then sets up. Yeah. I mean, you've dealt with Emily before, right? Like, she's not really a bullshitter.
Yeah. And she's
Oh.
probably quite racist, judging by her.
Our entire company, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she turns around and like sits the tea tray between the two of you, and she like pours out two of the little kind of mugs for each of you. And she sits back. And she just kind of like holds the mug and kind of like takes it to her nose and kind of just like inhales slowly. It doesn't drink and just kind of sits there. Says, "Well, discuss these procedural issues that you seem to have."
So, we have met before, and but I've worked for you
I see.
in some manner.
Forgive me, I have many employees. I am not familiar with each of their names.
Of course. There have been some changes since then too. However, I do believe it may be improper for a diplomat to be taking custody of a prisoner to whom they may have a personal vendetta.
That would be most curious if I had any personal history with this prisoner. Are you implying I do? Were they also an employee of mine?
He is not. He is in some ways has been an employee of yours.
She just raises an eyebrow. That's a weird thing to say.
He was involved. Well,
Like as you're like rephrasing that, she says, she puts her hand up. She goes, "You may speak freely here. There is no surveillance."
I'm not worried about surveillance. Just accurate.
A good thing to worry about. And she like takes a sip of her, tea in her like black ceramic mug thing or bowl.
So there was some time ago on Verses who were involved in diner, I believe.
Was I now? And she just like gives you the look of intrigue over her sipping of the tea.
Yes, we're in pursuit of an android and pseudo android. The latter of which drew an explosive weapon, brought the diner down on top of you.
I see. I don't recall ever having visited Verses recently.
Can I sense motive on her?
You definitely can if you want, yeah.
For myself, if I'm strong.
Everything you're saying, by the way, is right. Right. So I would correct
Good.
you in GM mode if you were saying things that weren't true. Oh my.
5 for my sense motive. How's
Uh,
that do?
so I think it's exactly as you imagine as you stare at the, you know, immutable face of Emma. And also for those at home, she was played by Michelle Yeoh because we spent the budget there, and yeah, she just kind of like gives you that. I don't ever having recall being it versus. Are you sure it was me? I've been told I have one of those faces.
And legs?
She just smiles and then sips the last of her tea and then sits the cup down. And this other me that was involved in this incident, is this the other you that was involved in the incident, or the you I see now? Or the you I knew?
Yes.
She just smiles. And just stares at you.
There's a degree of interdimensional entanglement combined with some transmogrification. But yes, I was present, one of the parties that we believe you are chasing at the time. in fact.
Ah, I see. And if I am following correctly, you or this prisoner are in some way entangled with each other dimensionally?
Yes.
And was this before or after your metamorphosis?
The entanglement somewhat hazy in time as to when it would have began, but around the same time.
I see. I'm sure this would be most interesting if it were relevant. But alas, it does not disqualify my jurisdiction over this particular prisoner. She just stares at you blankly. More tea?
Please.
She pours more tea. And then the door opens behind you. And she just waves. Yes, please come in. Take a seat. And in brought is Query. The door closes behind him. And he kind of just like does that wave from like his waist to you. And he kind of winks. I do mean kind of winks. And as he looks and stands awkwardly, MO says, yes, please, have a seat. And Query just looks at you.
And nod.
He winks again. He takes a seat. And then she sits down. She's poured him a cup of tea as well. And she sits and she goes, well now, why don't you both tell me exactly what happened then? And we'll get to the bottom of this, no doubt. And if need be, and she then like gestures to you, and the social convention is, I don't know if she got your name. Sure.
I will not respond to that.
Okay, yeah. And she goes, and you are welcome to join us if you feel your place is by your charge. And she looks over at a Query, and he just, like, very pale, looks at you, and then says, well, let me start. And he stands up, puts his hand on the desk, and says, in the interest of buying time, he looks at which felt weird. He nods, kind of resolutely, like he's proud of that. He flips the table to the wall, rushes forward, pins her against the wall, and rips her head off.
Huh.
And we end the session there.
But you said you wanted time.
That works.
Mind when we says we probably shouldn't kill Query.
So
We'll be heroes if we do.
Here's the thing, right? remember, she did break when we dropped a diner on her, and she's fine
She's
now.
not dead, right? She's
Like,
not
this
dead. I know
isn't-
she's not dead. Okay.
This is like
but-
body double X72 or something, right?
The
This is the
there was no
Emma bot.
shattering, FYI, just for the visuals here. It definitely was human head ripped off human body vibes.
Yeah, but maybe the
Just
shattering
want to
is-
highlight. That's all. I'm just
just-
highlighting the visual because I know it wasn't super clear there. But anyway, yes, let's name the session, shall we, folks?
in the interest of buying time.
I mean, feel free to type it in then.
Supercolossal Ultranought.
Yeah, I'm
I
like
mean,
I've
Super
typed
Colossal Ultranaught
Super
sounds
Colossal Ultranaught. You can type in the interest of buying time because I do like that too.
Can we get like a joint title?
If I could fit all that in, yes, Super Colossal Ultranaught in the interest of buying time. This isn't an Enem back spaceship. This one.
Have it like one of those alternate titles, like Frankenstein or a modern Prometheus, right?
Oh, or like was it like
Supercolossal Ultranaught or in the interest of buying time.
Buying a Supercolossal.
Ultranaut time? Yes, buying a timeshare for a Super Colossal Ultranaught. No, I don't see any names or votes. Let's go for
The
it, guys.
mystery box could be
The mystery box could be anything, Colin. You know this.
Supercolossal.
I don't know. I don't think I'll ever hear the term Super
Colossal Ultranaught.
Ultranaught ever again in my life. So I'm going to have to like actually just vote for that.
No, it's just legal conspiracy.
It's good.
You know what? It is too funny, but I really kind of do want in the interest of buying time.
Yeah, like you put in whatever.
I'm gonna put it down as a suggestion and then vote for them both.
Yeah. And thus,
Just to
mattering not.
neutralise my own vote.
I just feel like I'm never going to hear the words ever again in my life unless we like just write it down in
Hi,
history.
you know what?
So,
I'll
like,
make sure that comes back up in your life at some point. Okay, Super Colossal Ultranaut. I'll make sure that happens for you, bud. I mean, they're both good. They are both good.
How many votes are we have more votes for the first one than we have players?
Well, I think that means that wins.
Yeah,
and
clearly.
I'll do what
By
I
a
can
landslide.
to put the subtitle in
This,
as well.
this is winning by like Victor Orban levels.
Oh dear, absolute nonsense. I mean,
Blame the
I
voting machine.
I guess.
Yeah.
You know, actually,
Voting machine changed.
that
Listen,
would
the
have
guy
that
who
would have been an okay
pretends
one,
he
right?
invented email is saying that it can't be real. So,
I mean, I feel like that has poignancy. Just Emma.
Emma. We hardly knew you.
Yeah. So,
Alas, poor Emma. No, Supercolossal Ultranaught is hilarious.
we could
so-
actually, do you know, if I stole Emma's username and just had Carpe Diem, that's
No,
is it too bad for you? Yeah, Carpe Diem, seize the Emma. No.
there are limits to the puns.
I mean, well, I tried. That one's for you, Emma. Carpe Diem. But anyway, well, we've got a title. Super Colossal Ultranaut. Glorious. Absolutely glorious.
And it will be enormously disappointing for people who are like, "What the fuck's happened in this episode?"
Well, it's-
And it's
oh,
like
it goes-
they discuss,
It goes
they
from,
discuss strategy for an hour.
so it goes from Don't Panic, The Calm Before the Storm, Super Colossal Ultranaut. It's like, it's such dramatic titles
Yeah.
for talking. Also, random side note before we move on to goals. That movie poster you put in, right? When I went to see the Sonic movie, there were two old ladies there, and they were sat, and I'm like, oh, that's quite cool. They're obviously here because of some reason. And then 5 minutes, and I mean 5 actual minutes of movie into the Sonic movie, they both get up and lean over and go, this isn't the Emma movie, is it? And we're like,
That's brilliant.
No, it's not. So they eventually get up and leave, laughing to themselves, and it was amazing. It was such a great moment of, it's like you
That's
went
very
through the Sonic title and you stuck with it after
Yeah,
the title
yeah.
screen came up, just in case.
This is a long.
This isn't a period drama.
It's a long trailer. They're usually over sooner.
Could have been
It was good. It was so good. It
You know
was so
what? I
good.
appreciate people
Yeah.
who. Yeah, kind of like that. I really thought it was a double bill.
Mm.
I can appreciate people who kind of have a laugh at their own expense.
It was good.
there.
It was
That's
good fun.
for them.
That was a good day. And also, weirdly, the Sonic movie was also kind of really fun. But anyway, that aside, goals.
Yeah, I heard it was decent.
Right, what goals have happened, guys? Talk me through them.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Fair.
just nothing.
Nothing has happened. We haven't even finished giving people their ranks. Alice Alice still sits alone in a ship, completely unaware of her new rank.
She's got a fin. So,
Yeah.
she's not
Alice
totally.
sits completely alone in a ship.
Are any goals changing?
Oh, I feel like I'm committed now, right?
Very true. Maybe that should be booted into the long grass a little bit, but
Yeah, because
I
if
don't
we're
know
not planning
what
to go to
everybody's
versus soon, yeah, it's maybe not going to be poignant. But yeah, general goals. Anybody got any better suggestions for general goals for the gang?
Better the devil, you know.
Kill MO.
So that's a
What was that? Kill MO? Was that it?
is that an autocomplete?
Either he's going to come in really useful, or we're just going to have to actually do something about
I
him.
think we're going to put him down.
Hmm.
I think we're going to need to daily of mice and men to the guy, or
Oof.
something like that.
Yeah.
So
Don't- that's a
spells.
sad
Give him-
fucking.
Give him the
like-
old Lenny. Yeah.
Yeah, gee, George. Oh man, no. What a-
Speaking as one of the people who would have shot him twice.
Wow, a double George.
Yeah.
What about the rabbits, George?
Speaking as one of the people who thinks we didn't bomb Dresden hard enough.
Meanwhile, back in this game, in the goals. Right, general goals, guys. What's the plan?
Well, I mean, I can't really think it, and it's like
So the first two for general goals are
Rest.
kind of the go to Ramasethu, then go to Eox, right? That's the given.
Uh-huh.
Right, I feel like they could
Hmm.
probably stay. What about the next three?
I mean, we're in the process of keeping Query at Aspis hands, right?
Mm,
So,
I think that stays.
okay.
speak to Clevalari Clue. It's a wee bit off, right? But it's not like
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
put it this
Could
way,
maybe
what is the
be
plan? Is it,
after Eox?
I was going to say, if it's after Eox, is there a more immediate thing you could put in then? If Eox is the next goal.
hmm.
Is there anything else we want to do? Oh my god, I just had an idea of something we could do in Eox. But
I mean, what's their idea? Put it in, right? Why not?
well, right. I want to run it by people first. So you know how we asked if we could perhaps have a sample of some technology to bring to Bob
Hmm.
from Ramasethu.
Huh?
Well, we're going to be probably fighting guards and what have you and breaking in. Why don't we use Weird's expertise and my actual limited experience, but also I had some involvement in Eoxing smuggling cases. Why don't we do some Eoxing smuggling?
You could always
This
have.
is Big Ten. Well, the last time this happened, Lyko died, so it's fine.
You can't die twice.
I mean,
Not yet.
if that's true,
I mean,
then
yeah,
MO is
yeah.
fine, right?
Listen, Buffy did, and look how she's doing.
I mean,
It sounds
I'm
like a
pretty
great
certain the MO is fine. I'm pretty certain the MO is fine.
Mm.
I don't know why.
Okay.
But maybe stop about getting bazookaed and drop my dino or
I mean, to be fair though, like, Weird obviously doesn't necessarily disbelieve MO when she said that she had no knowledge of being on Versus recently. So,
she's clones. She's probably got loads of clones, alright? Like,
Or that wasn't MO.
There is
it
no
was
MO. She
something
doesn't exist.
in the MO is a collective illusion.
yeah. Everybody goes for their individual 11 book and doesn't find it because that's a Ghost in the Shell reference that nobody will get here. Except maybe Karen.
I have never seen any ghosts or shells. So.
Okay, cool. No
You
Ghost in the
should
Shells.
watch all the ghosts and the shells.
2 Ghost, 2 Shell. So, are we shelving Kivalari
Well,
crew
hold
then?
on. What about the one after that, Repair Fleet Kivalari? Like,
Mhm.
are we still sure we're going to go for that?
I think that's like the least relevant of all the 5, right?
It kind of feels like
General
you have
goals.
abandoned that because none of you
I
said
think
let's
we're
take the
abandoning
Kivalari and
shit
leave.
out of it.
Yeah, let's get rid of it then.
Which is fair, I think, because it isn't our ship. I would have liked it to be. Consider it done.
Excellent.
And do we
I don't
do we
think-
want to set up our own little Eoxian smuggling company? No, I mean,
Why stop at Eox?
let's face it, something like
Well, Aspis needs a new boss,
Um,
right? So yeah, like needs to just become new arms dealers.
retrieve some. I mean, because we were asked
Mm-hmm.
the electroencephalons. I'm not sure how comfortable I am around that, but you know.
Yeah, you
Uh,
you definitely know that an electroencephalon would buy you a lot. I know, but I'm just letting you. I'm reminding you how much value an electroencephalon holds to the greater galaxy, and it's mighty.
No, it's a person. Not giving that to Bob.
We
Yeah.
could just kill Bob and take his horde.
Can't do with it.
Do you want to try and shoot at Bob? I don't know if I want to pop that balloon.
That particular blister.
Like as a sniper.
What?
Yeah,
do.
this is
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
It is quite long ranged.
He's and he's a big target. It'll be fine.
I think I have to be like 1.5 k meters away from people before I start experiencing drop off if I aim.
It's just
properly.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Otherwise, we could just land the shuttle on him.
That's
yeah,
right.
that's the alternative. Or right, like Zig could just irradiate a large area around him. I mean, there are options, but equally we could nick some relatively non-destructive or
He might just risk pissing off his business partner, though, right?
Ah, fuck him.
yeah. I mean, at some point we have to slay the dragon. But no, we could potentially like
We could put a
retrieve-
placeholder Bob. We could get our
A proxy
own
Bob?
Like, right,
What I
okay.
want to do.
Yeah.
Right. No.
So a megabyte in disguise.
Oh, Bob.
Yes.
Retrieve
Full Bob.
valuable
Mega
objects
frame.
from
My
Yox
Oh,
for sale
So good.
to
chilling.
Ah,
Right.
I wish I
For
could talk like Tony. G.
While
likely
while
sale
Lyco is typing
to-
up, as interchanging their personal
Sure.
goals, I know Zora's keeping yours. Is Weird you keeping yours personal goals still?
Yeah.
Zig?
Yes, because I can't think of anything.
'Kay.
That's it.
So retrieve valuable objects from Eox for likely sale to Q. Yeah, I think it works.
That's meant to be-
Yeah, that's alright.
I'm not saying for sale to Q specifically, definitely, because then we'll end up selling to someone who gives us a better order, and you'll go like, actually, if you look at quest text.
Mhm.
But I think that's here.
There you go. Is that better for you?
Scroll down. Yeah,
It keeps it vague.
I mean, resale implies that we're sort of like buying it there.
That's
mean-
what we want everyone to believe.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because there's a big market there. So
Are you happy with that?
yeah,
Okay, yeah, I'm up. I get what you mean by that. At least that's good. Okay, so you still. MD got any other suggestions for replacing the Speak to the Kevlar crew for a more immediate? Because at the moment we've got our general goals cover wrapping up this situation, getting to Ramasethu, technically getting spider legs for Spider Boy, and then getting prepped for Eox, get to Eox, and then getting stuff from Eox. So that's the general goals cover quite a big area. So is there anything MD can think in the middle of all that? That's maybe more immediate than also go to verses and chat to crew.
Get your query off.
What was that?
Get your query away.
Yeah, but I mean technically that would be the keep him out of Aspa's hands. If you can get him away somewhere and secure him somewhere, right? That's the hide him somewhere essentially. Is that so that Aspa's don't immediately?
Sure.
Yeah, I did have that joke I think with Colin maybe
Yeah.
during the week, and I was like, yeah, just ask the god to be like, can you push him a wee bit forward in time also, please?
That's still one of my
You did,
favourite
yeah.
schemes I come up with.
Mhm, mhm.
Such a terrible solution.
To be fair, it was what I thought you'd think of, and it's why I laughed at it during the week. So yeah, it's not terrible if we both thought of it, right? Right?
Oh,
That's how
yeah.
it works. I think that's Query's logic.
That's more an egg than a person.
It's Query. I mean, how much of a person is he really?
In that case, I'm just going to stick in my null space chamber and just leave it there
Just forever. Yeah.
with an audiobook.
Yeah. Just the one though, in a language he
Oh, yeah.
doesn't speak.
But
Yeah.
it's incomplete as well.
Mhm.
It's a corrupted.
Yeah, it's
download.
no, it's a middle one of a trilogy.
I was going to say, we like the Chamber of Secrets audiobook.
Yeah. something-
yeah.
oh,
But
dear.
then he can have read as much as roughly all of Twitter.
Wow. Wow. Anyway. Anyway, wow. So, speak with the Kevlar crew. Is it getting shelved?
Yeah.
Let's look at our list then, right? What have we got in our ideas pile? Who is Zig and what does he do? Gather actionable info on Demogesh. Get Ivan data from Aspis. Dignified burial of Escate/return body to the Church of Abadar. Godslayer. Kill
That
Hamani.
even exists anymore.
Gather info in aiding taking down Hamani. Gather intern to pursue next objective. Prepare for mission to Eox. Well, that's already in place.
Maybe gather actionable info on Demogesh, since there's maybe an in soon.
Why don't you put in get diplomatic status? I thought you were going to go down that route.
Yeah, that's the thought.
I mean, I could, but I mean, is that depending on like how this goes and how accepting I am? Is that not like essentially just an autocomplete almost? Like
No, because
that's why I don't know why I suggest it.
no, because the
That's why I
difference
don't
is,
know
do
why I
you
suggest
still want to go through with getting, Demogesh
Really
support?
don't. I mean, it could be useful, for instance, if we were to use it to the position to assassinate him, for instance.
I mean, that's probably why I want. That's about the.
And obviously,
actual
it's
only
less
reason
suspicious
that
that
I
you're
want him to do
saying
this.
yes. It's less suspicious of you agreeing to it now because you need it now, right?
Yeah.
Like, Demogesh could go, you need me. Yes, good. Of course, let us be friends, right? As opposed to just turning up random and like, I had a change of heart, Cox gun.
Regain diplomatic power.
You could even just write sign up with Demogesh. That would be good enough. I know what you mean by that.
Cool. Sign up with Demogesh. Cool. Is there an apostrophe between the D and the M?
I don't even
can't
remember. I don't think so.
Like, cool.
I think it's just DMO.
Or
GESH.
you an apostrophe.
The kill is silent at the start. Right, what else have we got here? We've got learn what Nyx Prime's role was in the exploits. Hook up with new junk rats. Make robo body parts with Buglord. Find query role in the crew. What about that one? Chief Decapitator Officer. Find way
Listen,
to
if we're joining the vest.
find way to navigate a negative zone place and secure egg there, and hopefully be able to get it back. That's a big goal.
Squeed is like a Dr. Jekyll sort of guy. Is that what's happening here?
Don't know.
Like,
Get Weird and Zig to the sun.
Except that Dr. Jekyll wasn't an idiot.
Find out why
See,
Drow
my
Grand
opinion.
Parentals are a bad omen. Retrieve Ivan, King of the Old Baby. Well, I would like that because we've got Ivan. So that's gone. Oh my god, this goal. Try to understand future Zig's wisdom and come to terms with abandoning the goal of the Zig of the past who happens to be the Zig of the now but not present Zig. Nope, that's a fuck. Catch a grey and take it back to the ship. Confront the Radiant Supreme about time travel and how much he already knew about Zig's importance in picking up the solar egg. Kill Demogesh, which I feel like I read, but maybe I didn't. And then ensure Weird removes Vesk's safeguard protocols. Still a valid goal. Establish if Thanira has access to Vault and persuade her to take me and speak with Kevlar crew. I'm just going to put in that one on verses so that we don't all forget.
Yeah.
There we go.
Wise.
Because note taking. Yeah, right. Based on that, are we happy with the goals as is? Or any other changes to make? Because keep in mind, if you've got things like Get Bloods checked in Hive Market, I expect you to actually be suggesting that I should go to Hive Market now, guys. Let's go to Hive Market. Otherwise, why is it there, right? So, all good, folks? Yeah? Yeah.
Believe so.
Big? Zara?
Aye, aye,
Zara?
Admiral.
Zara? Zara?
hello?
There we go.
Okay, yeah, I'm good.
Good, perfect. Okay, cool. Well, that's our goals updated for next time. Yeah, let's do wrap-up chats, and let's start with Zig.
It was really fun. It was really fun. I loved Weird's legal everything. It was just wonderful. It was just great.
Alex, remind me to give you glasses next session as well, right? Like, if that matters. As like Durant walks in holding a pair of glasses and just looks at the blood up the wall and goes, do you still need these?
And then I get to put them on and
Yep.
make a terrible pun.
Mhm.
Looking over the blood spatter.
Yep.
Yeah. They've got to be sunglasses for that.
Sorry, please continue, Zig.
No, that's all I liked. The rest of it was
That-
garbage. No.
yeah. Same.
You're welcome.
Wow. Wow.
No.
In the bin.
No. I jest. I am but kidding. I
He's bought.
don't know.
But kidding
kidding.
sounds like a baseball player.
Does actually. Getting on a fourth.
How random.
It's really true.
Just gotta write that down. But kidding. Baseball player, and Zig will probably end up making kill himself, so yeah, but kidding.
That scene is forever
Beautiful
ingrained in my
artwork,
mind,
thank you.
and I love it so much. The idea of Ivan, Cece, and the Captain Admiral walking.
Oh, it's so
The
good.
dream team, man. The dream team.
That is so good. I'm gonna add this to the images for people, so please talk until I can put this art online.
Yeah, that's fine. That's our first fan art. Me being the fan, so I don't know if it counts.
That's good enough.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This whole Shakos thing is sus. I don't like it.
Yep.
Okay. What makes you think it's sus? You talk me through your thoughts on that one, bud.
Right, I say my thoughts. Okay. Well, they are my thoughts, so the thoughts I'm having.
Is that thoughts?
You
So-
always make that joke. Always.
I always enjoy it.
And here we are. Here's this fan art.
I'm sorry. Zig.
My issue is
It's so good. Like, there's our captain. There's Cece with his robo legs. That's exactly how I imagined it. And there is Ivan. It's so good. I also really appreciate the actual height representation of 5 foot, 5 foot, and 8 foot. It's very good.
yeah.
If you translated CC into his other arm, no, but he's got 6 arms. Never mind. Why had 8 arms? Do you have 8 arms or 6
It's
arms?
actually just CC tattooed on his belly, apparently, so don't worry about it.
Yes.
I'm gonna make that hand out.
So yeah, no, I just love that the image. CC's just great. Ivan's perfect. I was so happy that just image of them. Oh no, Shakos. Yes, that's what I was talking about.
Mhm.
So it's not the idea that we're not allowed to see her, because that's fine. Like we're not part of the crew. We're not part of like the Inquit. But the fact that nobody is to see her is like, why is she being kept in something? Is she really like like a machine for spying on us, and they're just downloading all her memories into the computer now? Who knows? Not me. Clearly.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just think it's weird that nobody would be able to see her. Like, what have they got to hide, or what has she got to hide, or what are they going to do? Are they going to just like interrogate her until she dies, or oh, no, I don't know. Stressful. This whole game's stressful.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not a bad thing. I need some stress in my life.
Okay. You're welcome.
Thank you.
There's not been enough stress into it.
Right.
No.
Great.
I wonder if the
Um,
psychologist could look at the tones of this game from last year and this year and just compare to see if there has been a direct impact in the storytelling from all of us. So, probably.
So
There
if
has-
anyone has anyone studying like psychology and like behaviors or whatever, what to do is just send them this
Like,
as a, here's
subscribe.
your dissertation, you will
um,
pass.
Yeah.
There's actually been some really interesting work being done on text scraping Twitter
Right.
to see how often certain words come up, and they've basically created an index of how positive and negative certain words are. They
Okay.
can take a temperature on the average mood,
Like super zeitgeisty. Um,
in the English world on any particular day. Last few years.
That's mad. This is almost like a top 10 Netflix thing, isn't it? I don't know if I like that for words.
It's a few hundred. I think it's a couple hundred words maybe, and they change it as time goes on because obviously, like
In our,
2020, they had to incorporate a few new words.
In our communist
COVID.
space future, where there will be the most negative word of the day is banned, to be said. and
Yep.
it's illegal to say is where that's going to go. So you heard it here first, folks. Antiquing.
It does feel a little bit. Yeah.
But anyway,
But the good news they said is that we peaked for happiness a
Oh.
couple of years ago, and it's been downhill since then.
fair. I could believe that. Zig,
Yeah.
anything else to add?
No, that'll do. Thank you for running. It was great fun.
Oh,
I'm
you're more than
absolutely
welcome.
knackered, so my brain's just going. Blah, 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 blah. But
Lyko. Maybe I like.
Yeah, sorry. I actually just taken my headset off to adjust my glasses, which oh god, they need weights again already for fuck's sake.
That's Lyko, folks.
I'm sorry, they really are quite smudgy. I enjoyed that. I think that little surprise at the end was quite fun. I definitely expected them to do some stupid things, like for instance, say aloud in the interest of buying time to the person who were trying to buy time from, but then of course it was redundant because his method for buying time. So yeah, what the fuck? What's up with that, as they say? And I'm curious to see where the hell that unfolds. It was nice to have Weird getting a bit more queer interaction. I kind of thought about going, oh, I'll help, but then I held off because oh no, because the relationship between them is far more interesting.
Yeah, I quite like that. I was glad that, like, my assumption when I was writing that was probably Lyko was going to volunteer for that, because I know Weird doesn't really want much to do with them. Obviously, Query, but I thought the best screen time for me is if it's Weird that has to deal with it.
I did, yeah. I as I say, like I kind of felt like, yeah, Lyko should do, but then I held off because I did feel like, well, there was just a more interesting relationship.
That's
there
why I
to
had
explore.
Query actually say I thought it'd be Lyko. Like, I just because
And I did enjoy like getting to have that little bit of awkward conversation with Emo and there obviously that bad roll kind of helps the mystery a little bit.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
You know, if it hadn't been a 5, we might know how much she's bullshitting. And I think to some degree it's more interesting if we don't know.
Yeah, I was pleased.
Not more useful, but more interesting if we don't know.
Yeah.
So sometimes again, like you get the dice rolls that you need. There was also some interesting stuff with like, yeah, the intrigue of the steward situation, which I definitely feel like the captain is pretty much as on level as I'm ever convinced anyone is at this point. He has been very in the straight and narrow with this, and he's also sort of like almost, you know, he is almost given us sort of clandestine aid by virtue of not stopping us doing things he knows we're going to do, and even like by hinting to that, he is essentially giving us tacit permission. And yeah, like he's been very accommodating, and yet why, like that's what concerns Lyko is like, well, right, they don't want people to see her. There could be reasons related to the mission. That's fine, but we were there, so why can't we see her? Like for Lyko, that's the alarming part. It's like can't be a mission sensitive thing. It can't be a precaution regarding she's been exposed to X, Y, or Z because so have we.
There's almost like no obvious reason why that would be, right?
Yeah.
Like it's very sus as a.
But
your admiral
there
would say.
is a connection that's sort of forming in Lyko's head, and it's sort of there in mine, and I don't know where I think it's going, and I don't know what Lyko thinks exactly. But he is sort of mentally going, it's like, yeah, on the ship she isolated herself. Now she's here. They're isolating her. That's interesting. Is there a reason she doesn't be around people? Is she insisting on this? Is there something that she doesn't, something that they know about her that they're keeping from other people? What the fuck is happening? So that's a really nice little bit of intrigue that makes me kind of regret that we're having to probably leave as soon as possible. Possibly short some members of the crew due to pending murder investigations.
Yeah.
Potentially. Who knows?
How are you getting off the ship again? Exactly, because your shuttle's gone. So.
Yeah, it'll come back.
Commandeer the Kivalari in a way.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's.
Did we take that goal out because we might want to put that
Oh, you can put it
yeah,
back in to
there's-
fix it later. Yeah.
There's some stuff going on here that is. I really wish I had more time to get my teeth into, but then there's like the pressing stuff with Eox, and
Mm.
it's frustrating. Like when you have
Just make
these
Eox brief
things
then.
you wanna...
Like, there's nothing to say you can't circle back to it, right?
Yeah,
Or
that
I
is
mean,
absolutely true.
Eox doesn't need to take forever, right? But at the same time,
Absolutely.
it might. So
So yeah, it's nice to have that there. Like even if you can't get your teeth into it now,
mhm.
it's knowing that there is that stuff there that is like, I'm gonna come back to you.
Mhm.
And of course, we also had this really interesting choice presented to our friends, the Admiral, which I will never remember.
I hate it.
It
Absolutely
sounds
hate
wrong and
it.
unnatural,
It's mad.
Brilliant.
I hate it.
and I can't think of any way to abbreviate. I mean, how do you do that? Addy,
Adsy?
Myr, Adam. I'm gonna call you Adam now. What? No.
I
Yeah, it's very weird, but it's cool. Like you've got that sort of choice where now, presumably, we're gonna get in touch with you, find out like what happened on the ship, and then that might influence your decision. But now, potentially, that might be off to.
Well, the thing is, he's unlikely to hear from you guys unless you go out of your way to make yourselves known
I
to Zora.
think we have to do it
Before he
as
gets
soon
to the
as we
final
know about
hour
that,
and
because
speaks to
this does-
Demogesh or Matva, right? Like,
Yeah. I think we have to. It depends.
because yeah,
How
you
much
might
we're-
want your admiral to have that information before he commits himself to a patron,
Yes.
as it were.
don't know. I'm kind of almost committed now, just to get
Yeah.
just to get some inside
An
info to
opportunity.
stab him in the back,
Hmm?
essentially.
Yeah, it's
An
definitely useful.
opportunity to shoot him.
Anything else, Lego?
Yeah, I kind of like to for once in this arc, it was kind of Lyco in the sidelines.
Mm.
Not quite sure what to do. And like Zig is sort of like I don't know, kind of minding him almost. Like it's interesting. Like suddenly to have
So the way I look at it is, Lyco is trying to process everything he's just experienced and is kind of out of commission
Yeah.
because his brain is still trying to process everything.
yeah, he's trying to look for solutions as well,
Mhm.
and he can't find them, which
And
is
there's
very
the fact
frustrating.
that you're also a steward, and you probably don't like a lot of the suggestions that we made because it would potentially mean sabotaging
Indeed,
some
yeah.
stewards. Like,
I
it
mean,
makes sense that you only
Lyco has
as
expressed that he is willing to do this if he needs to, because he's made it clear that he's quite happy, like sabotaging to a certain extent security systems,
Mhm.
but he's not going to like drop their ships in a potential battle, drop their shields in a potential battle.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's like there is a degree of discomfort there. You're correct.
Yeah,
it's all
flicking
very weird.
switches for like the lights on and off isn't the same as dropping the shields. Yeah, you're right. Like there's
Yeah.
a very different line there, and it's disruptive versus endangering.
Next time in the adventures of Lyco and Zig, where we go off and try and diffuse the ongoing
The sun.
situation. Yeah, that should be exciting. So I had fun and I'm intrigued to see what happens next. And by the way, see this little piece of fan art by Zig. First of all, very funny. Secondly, you write ours exactly as I do, which means
Where it almost looks like a
these-
knot.
Yeah,
a
yeah, that's
V,
what I meant
yeah.
to say. So that to me reads as Iran, but I know it's
Me too.
Ivan because that's exactly how I write it. That just tickled me, and it's like, yeah, I also have this curse where most of my letters look almost interchangeable.
I'm gonna have to show this for the stream again.
my A's and E's can sometimes be pretty
There he's
bad.
go
Yeah,
stream. There's what he's
roughly.
talking
I
about.
had a French teacher in secondary school said to my mother and like parents' night one year, "Is like, to be honest with you, I can't tell which vowels he's using, so I just give him the benefit of the doubt."
That's fantastic. Anything else, Lego?
No, that is me.
Yep.
That is me. Thank
Zora?
That was good. It was good to be sabotage pondering session that never really ended in any sabotage at all.
Well, So I like the dilemma of how
well-
do we sabotage the ship while not getting the ship blown up that we're on? I like that because it's how do we sabotage them enough to benefit us and not to hinder us?
Yeah. I think that, well, I mean, I don't think Zora wants to blow up one of his allies as well, right? Or potentially get one of his allies blown up. So,
Which one are you considering as allies? The Yoxian ship or the?
I mean, you can get some Yoxian allies. That would be nice.
Keep in mind,
Got
if you
some.
sign up with Demogash, you will get Yoxian allies.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Sign up, quote unquote. I hate that idea.
Mm.
I hate it. Really didn't want it. Didn't want to jump into bed. I don't want it, to be honest with you, but
I mean,
You're about to get a very good reason not to.
Yeah, like
potentially.
it is obviously there's as I said earlier, it's a good reason to hide why now. And not to say that there won't be a good reason that shows up in the future, but yeah, I think it would make your late game easier if you did that because you could get closer to Demogash with less questions. But also, if you don't like the idea of it, you also don't need to do it now, given what Query's done.
it's
So,
true.
yeah,
I mean, I think the idea as a player, it's obviously just sort of absolutely detests.
that's why I said when I
the
suggested it,
idea
it's like
of,
I know you shouldn't probably do this, but it's something that you'd know. So yeah.
And I mean, that's true. You say is right. Like, I would much rather ask Zora to jump in with Matva, but that's a lot less.
Yeah, Matva would basically say, okay, cool, you're going here and doing this, get it done. Whereas you could negotiate with Demogash going, well, let me do my stuff, and then if you need me to appear at events and shake your hand and smile, give me like 3 weeks notice. Right? Like,
Ah.
so...
Right, if my eventual plan of like assassinating both of them and taking over the Vesk, a bad and stop the war with the Packed Worlds goes through. I mean, it might be good that I'm actually back in the Vesk, right?
Yeah, right, you know, yeah.
That's totally not my plan.
Just to have the epilogue, just you fighting the Imperatrix alone, yeah, sure.
No, I'll be working with Imperatrix. It's
Okay,
fine.
of course, yeah.
I'll be the right and left hand.
Yeah, good, yeah. Shaking your own hand on the podium.
Yes, pat my own back.
Yep.
Nice.
It's good. I like it. I do like it. Okay, but anyway, in this timeline,
Queenie's a nut job.
I mean, we need that.
I mean, I'm kind of getting the vibes that he was like actually Hyde. Wait, was it Dr. Jekyll? Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde. I was
Yeah,
trying
Dr.
to remember what
Jekyll and
titles
Mr.
were.
Hyde, yeah.
I was trying to remember the titles. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was like Mr. Hyde in his universe, and PTSD's turned him into Dr. Jekyll, the dumb version. And yeah, that's the vibes I'm getting. I'm just getting a wee bit. Maybe we should.
This makes you wonder why I needed a
think about
bazooka, right?
Yeah. Maybe we should have killed him. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not too fussed at him ripping off ammo. He's quite cool actually. I respect him for that a wee bit.
Yeah, no, it's ballsy. It was ballsy.
It's when Craig becomes a captain according to the new ranking system now.
Yeah, for a start. Yeah, it's good. The dream team walked down the corridor was hilarious. Like fucking Scatterman did an assembly using a Vesk in a room.
It's just great.
It's amazing. But yeah, and I don't know. I'm even more suspicious of Shakos. Even like I didn't have any suspicion of back, but I actually slightly do now that like all access to Shakos has been cut off.
Right, okay.
It is definitely weird, but I'm thinking it's more Shakos related weirdness than Abak. But I mean, who knows?
That was kind of sus, just because of how like not forthcoming with information, even though they're clearly there to kind of like help. Right? And I mean, she should have a bit of trust in us, at least a bit, right? Like considering I've kind of saved her life how many times now?
I mean, like, considering what she said to Lyko at the end, right? When she was like, thanks for coming for me again, right?
Yeah.
Because that isn't the first time you went on a safety mission. Remember, you saved her from Absalom.
Yep.
And that was literally like Zig, Zora, and Lyko that went on that trip. So it's good.
Yeah, I'd at least expected a wee bit of info given, like on Nikki Valari, and that was what kind of made me a wee bit sussier. But now I'm like super sus. But I don't know in what way. But like, I'm just like,
I know it's hard to avoid the half of the drow in space are arms dealing pirates racism as well, isn't it?
not even.
Because there's
not
that
even.
angle that obviously she's been fighting against her entire career, quite frankly. And now there's some kind of weird arms dealer nonsense in space with weapons of potentially mass mutation. And
I mean,
yeah.
there is obviously maybe that's why they're not giving us access to Shakos, right? Because they're just automatically being racially assumptuous, like if you know what I mean. Like, and they're probably assuming that she was actually involved.
Who knows?
Like, my back's maybe like locking off all contact because he's maybe suspecting her. But like, I don't know.
It could be something as simple as she said no visitors, right? Maybe she's in medcare. Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently Query saw counsellors, so there is that as well.
And they said, "Hey, okay, here, let's expose him to people who might frighten him."
Lose their heads, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, don't lose your head. He's fine. I sign off on him.
Any other things?
And Weird's lawyering is just top notch, man. Top notch. Could be my representative anytime.
I just think his amazing stalling tactic was so better before he even left the room. Like,
yeah. It was like right there.
poor Durant, poor
motion
Officer
straight away.
Durant was just like, why is this my shift?
Why do I need to go print this man some glasses
Yep.
so he can read?
With his android eyes that are probably adjustable, but anyway.
The best part about it as well is like he
I
wanted.
do have bio
Yeah.
eyes.
Of course you do.
Basically, like wanted to do lawyering, which would probably involve reading, so he didn't have to print the glasses. That's why Durant was doing it, so he could read. It's just fucking stupid, man. Poor Durant, man. He's got fucking all couldn't knows it, man.
This is what NPCs are for. They're either OP or usable, right? That's the scale you get, and there's very few middle ground people, unless you're like, I don't know, Ivan. But yeah,
Iran, I believe he's called.
Iran. Sorry, you're right. But yeah, anything else? Sorry.
No, that's good. That was it. It was good fun.
Yeah, it was good fun. Weird. Oh, maybe a weird.
It's alright.
Yep. Hello.
I'm here.
Hello.
How's it going?
Not bad. You.
Yeah, not too bad.
Good.
Up.
Good. There's a statement.
Yep. Oh my. Okay.
Yep.
My favorite bits. My puppy just started sneezing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello, Rhubarb.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity to do some lawyering.
It's good fun.
But what else? Yeah. Punches upset at Query. Imagine Aspis. More of his ire. No, I love the captain going. Scenic. Junior crew members? Or what ranks you get?
I can't remember what Ivan
Senior.
is, but he's the chief as well.
But
Like
he's
CC
king.
has the same rank as you.
Yep.
Yeah, these are chief officers. Akin. He's science and you're
one of the chief
engineering.
officers.
Yeah. The main crew and CC are apparently chief officers. Yeah.
Yep.
It's good.
CCC.
Yep. CCC.
I just enjoyed the planning and the scheming. It was a lot of fun to be doing.
And at least bombs were mentioned this session as well as part of the plans. So
People coming around to it.
yeah, see.
Next session.
I was always there with you, Weird, mate. I was always there. Bombs are good, man.
Yes.
Now here's the thing: to leave that room, are you going to put a Curie and MO in the null space chamber now?
I'd just put MO in the null space chamber and say that she left.
There's the big blood
blood
smear up the
thing.
wall. It's like, she left. What's that? I don't know.
Semi-whole,
T.
half-blood.
I
Yeah.
can hang my cloak over it.
Oh, crystalline dust. No.
No, as I said, like when her neck was like torn, it was like a human neck being torn.
Okay, so maybe it was deed. That'd be good,
yeah,
right?
That was possible. I don't.
Still
Listen, I
got
have,
the
I have a
code.
good track record in being right about things.
Oh god. Or would you be politically right?
Oh.
I mean, just generally.
Anyway, weird.
Yeah. Nothing else.
I really like the fact that like we got to see some of like weird interacting with Query on. I don't know how many levels I would say that was there, but there was definitely at least more than we've seen so far. I think that are since he's been brought into this universe, right?
Mhm.
I enjoyed that. It was nice to play Query slightly differently this session with this slightly more like almost get up and go attitude that you had this
Yeah.
session. It was fun.
That too.
Mhm.
Good.
I had to try not to go into full-on Sparks, the NPC, because it was edging on that. I was like, yep, let's not go full Sparks. It was
Never go for it.
it definitely had all the almost ants in his pants vibes of, oh, we've got to solve something, right? We've, like, what's this about? Why are they interested in me? I'm not really anything to be interested in, am I? Should I be? What if I am? What if we learn stuff from it? Like, he was, yeah. He definitely seemed to think he was going to be way more coy, I think, than he was capable of being.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
When he said that he was going to buy time, I kind of figured he'd.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I tried to buy as much time as possible for us, but
Hmm.
next time I'll clear up his mess.
I mean, in
Or
theory,
drop out.
you've got the privacy of that room for a bit. So, yeah, until somebody leaves that room, right?
Yeah.
How good is your
Yeah.
disguise, like?
Not good enough to cover up a murder.
I'm talking about could you be MLO for like 20 minutes?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about too. I think the answer is no.
Okay.
Do you have a space wizard? Doesn't your space wizard have any space
Hold on, let
wizard
me check to
spells?
see if I have a spell for this. I doubt it.
Yeah, it's unlikely, but maybe if you have a look between this week and
I
next.
could have had a spell for this
Really?
if I was in danger,
Mm.
but I can't, so it's fine.
Just constantly shooting yourself in the foot, but MLO doesn't have feet. Wait, what?
Just bang! Just shoot myself in the leg every 2 seconds.
Don't mind this. This is normal behaviour. Sorry, weird.
Come on,
Anything else to add, Vera?
me.
Anything else to add, weird?
No.
Okay.
Nothing for me this week.
Good.
I look forward to more antics next week.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to see how this nonsense plays out. It's good. It's a bit of a tonal change at the end. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I liked everybody's plans that we had. Absolutely love that disguise roll. That's great.
I was hoping for it to be slightly better. Seeing that I don't have a spell, I was like, it's okay. I've got this. I've got a decent disguise score.
I mean, your disguise score is actually pretty good if that's a 1 that you rolled, and 11's decent, but 12 isn't a great roll. Just don't do that next time. But anyway, thank you everybody for playing. That was fun. I look forward to seeing what you formulate for next time. Sadly, it's not a 31 that roll. Cool.
Nope.
But we're obviously doing
But we
better.
all get older.
Yeah. But yes, thank you everybody, and goodbye everybody
Thank
on Twitch.
you.
Bye bye.
Good.